Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and good evening and good morning, depending on where you are in the world today. We've got a great show for you today. We're having too much fun in the green room, so that's why we're about a minute late. But I've got Simone Bianchi on the show today, and his good friend Matt Tutulio. Gloria's here as well, and we're gonna be talking about many of the things that has been going on in Simone's career and life these last few months. He's had a very busy summer. Busy spring, and I think a very busy fall is underway for him as well. But let's get everybody in here. I've got Simone and Gloria and Matt as well.
So are we gonna do this in Italian, right? Not in English.
Well, we need it as long as Gloria can translate, then we're good.
Yeah. 2 hours straight of Gloria translating me, Matt, and Bill. That would be nice. Okay.
If you have a French viewer, you can take care of that too, Gloria.
Ciao, everybody, and thanks for being here. Thanks a lot, Bill, for having me. Thanks a lot, Matt. I don't know what for, but thanks a lot. I know what to thank you for.
Well, I can tell you, Matt is the Simone's punching bag. So just expect a few barbs here or there. It's partially, Matt's got this seat of power. That's the thing. He's got the most impressive backdrop of the three of us. So he deserves a little abuse today.
For sure, yours is still
pretty
accurate.
No, there's a word. I love that word. I think about that word. And me and Gloria, we just had, I don't know if you guys can see it, but right at our backs, we got a beautiful Moebius print from Hardzak. It's been sitting there for a long time. Yeah.
No, I love Moebius.
That's the word I was looking for. Remarkable. That's a nice word. Nice, like real English word. Remarkable.
Very well done.
And it was referred to Bill's background. It's very remarkable. But I have to say, Matthew's background is even more remarkable.
Well, because you painted it.
It's exactly, and drawn it. Artists! Beautiful.
Yeah, we've got a lot of viewers over on Facebook this morning too. So that's great. Fantastic.
Please.
Tried to share it on all the platforms we could to make sure everybody got the link where they needed. So I'm glad to see it worked out for the viewers on Facebook.
Yeah, so why don't we, there's so many different ways we could get this thing started, Simone, but I really want to talk about you've had an incredible summer, that exhibit going on with all of your work. And of course, I haven't been able to see it in person, but I've seen there's a newscast that's up on your Facebook page that, really gives you a good idea of how the presentation was. I mean, not many comics creators get to have such an incredible exhibit of their work. You're kind of in the middle of your career. You're hitting your stride, and you're getting an exhibit like that. How did that thing come about?
I don't even know where to start from. Actually, okay, let's start with this exhibition in particular, and then Gloria also, he can tell you guys.
Please.
I say he. I was talking about Matt then. And he can tell you about the approach that we've been trying to have with my work and everything related to it. But as long as it goes for this exhibition, okay, believe it or not, this exhibition was supposed to take place in another city, which is Pisa. Matt, shut up. Do not comment. And it was supposed to happen, if you can believe it, on March 2020. So
right when COVID started.
Yeah, we all know what happened. Of course, the exhibition got being postponed. and it's been a long. We changed how many location already? I don't even remember. And then we finally, actually, she finally with Barbara started working at this one about a year ago, Gloria.
Approximately 1 year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago, and it's been a lot of work. Oh, look at this beautiful guy. And it's been a lot of work because this is Giorgio, who is the curator of the exhibition, is a modern art professor
at the University of Florence.
In Florence, and it's just took a long time to put the whole things together because it's 120 pieces. We have to, of course, ask a lot of pieces back from Italian collectors, but in the end, I have to say it was really worth it because their location, even better. So their location is stunning, and the setting of the whole thing is just unbelievable, and it also is extremely extensive and really big. It's huge. It's a huge place. So that's how this one came around. But as I was saying, both me and Gloria, one of the things that we're trying to do at the best of our possibilities, and Matt too is going to do something like this in the States. We want to expand my own, the exposure of my work to galleries, museum, as much as we can, because we feel that it's the best way to have like an official approval of, it's just an effort to get as close as possible to the fine art market and to the fine art perception of my own work. But Gloria, she can explain this much better to me.
Now, so our main goal is to have people going to a museum, to a gallery, and see the original art in person. Because one thing that happens very often with collectors, which is always very pleasant, is when they get a package, especially if the collectors are from other countries, are from the United States or from Canada, is when I see the piece in person, it's better than the scan looked.
Mm-hmm.
So because this comment has been done so many times, we more and more had the will to show the pieces in person and put the collector, the observer, the person who passes by and never thought about original art, look at the painted piece, at the pencil, at the difference of the brush strokes, and just feel it, feel the impression of this work on themselves. And so it's not always easy because it's superhero comic art. So some of the Italian museums still have this feeling of fine art, contemporary art, okay, comic art.
It's not.
So the question is always, does comic art have the same dignity as, modern art, contemporary art? Sorry, it's Simone's phone.
I'm sorry.
So
I don't even know where my phone is.
So when we were proposed this space, it was very important because it is in Livorno, that is a town on the coast, on the Tuscan coast, that has a very rich tradition of painters, the Macchiaioli, and the museum where the exhibition takes place is part of the Macchiaioli path. So it was for the first time a comic art artist
meshed up
to be exhibited in this temple of Macchiaioli and of traditional art.
Also, Livorno is the city where Amedeo Modigliani was born. And Modigliani is one of the finest and, higher valued artist of the past century. And he was in Livorno, then he moved to Paris. He lived a very short life, but he managed to leave an incredible amount of paintings and a huge impression of the whole history of the historical history of the 19th century.
So basically, our aim is to try and bring comic art and Simone's work
and fine art
and
as close as possible.
Yes.
I think.
So let me show you. There are just a few copies that they had at the exhibition, but they did a catalog of the. Sorry, but it's the opposite.
It's flip, yeah.
So there is this catalog we did with the Marvel that we thank so much for all the support while doing this catalog with all the pieces made just like a fine art catalog. So our aim is to just go as close as possible to that.
Yeah, and I think what Simone's artwork does is I think we're, especially in the American market, we're on the cusp of comic art being accepted as fine art. I think we're in the midst of it moving forward to that level. And you know, what exhibitions like this do, not only for Simone, not only for Italian painters, but for artists, for comic book artists in general, to be able to see an exhibition like this put together and have all of those pieces there, that it can be done and that people will show up and that your art is appreciated. And, you know, one thing that I wanted to say is if anybody's ever seen that Always Sunny from Philadelphia meme where the guy's standing in front of the board with all the yarn and the thread and he looks like he's making a plan, I got to give Gloria, you know, and Barbara a big shout out, because I was in the studio where they were in front of the vision board with the yarn and the pins and every little computer cutout, you know, computer printouts, you know, 2x2s of what the image was, and trying to, you know, envision the layout. And then Gloria was kind enough to give me a live walkthrough on my phone, or on her phone, and the way it's laid out. I mean, the presentation, the building, the way that Gloria and Barbara orchestrated everything along with the curator, just to have that amazing immersive experience, you know, the red walls, the way the framing's done. I mean, the amount of effort and time that it takes to get to that level to put something together, it's a real triumph, and Gloria and Barbara should feel very proud, because it's a massive undertaking. And of course, Simone's got to create the paintings, but to have things laid out like this and be so beautiful, it really is just, it's a triumph for all of comic art. It's very impressive.
Also, since we're on the subject, a huge shout out also to all our friends, collectors, Italian collectors, who have been generous enough to lend their paintings and drawings for the exhibition to take place. Because without them, I won't even start thanking one by one, because I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna keep somebody out of the list. I'm gonna forget somebody. But I mean, all these people, they know who they are. We can't thank you guys, all of you guys, enough for making this possible, because it wouldn't have been possible without you.
No.
Yeah.
Right. That's I can say that we've been talking about you know, original comic art and illustration as fine art, and you know, as a goal for the channel for a long time too. It's just something that it seems like it took the pandemic for people to start realizing, you know, how beautiful and valuable original comic art can be, and that you know, that the men and women making art for our wonderful hobby are indeed, you know, as good as any fine artist out there, by and large. And we need more galleries willing to open themselves up to the opportunity of showing this work, without question. And you know, and we've seen smaller ones do that, but yours is at a scale that we just haven't really seen before. So I think that that's what's really wonderful about that. And I hope we do see more of that going on, you know, in the US over time. I mean, it's something that we've kind of set as a mission for OAX, is to work with some of the local galleries and try to get, you know, when we do that show in January, to try to have shows going on out in the public leading up to and after the show, just to keep it in the public eye, raise awareness for it as well. Because, you know, collecting art in a lot of ways has a stigma, right? You think only wealthy people can own it too, right? And only belongs in a gallery. And that's something that I think we can kind of we can encourage more people to buy original comic art, view it as high art, and realize that it is affordable by most anybody, you know. And it just takes time. And so, Gloria, that's fantastic that you kind of you know, put a lot of effort into it as well. I mean, we all I think have the exact same goal for you know, for the creators, and you know, not just Simone, but you got to start somewhere. And this is, you couldn't have had something as high scale as this one, and so high profile happen you know, at a good time too. I mean, is this exhibit still going on, right? I think it goes through
the last 4 months. It opened on the 21st of July and will be up until the 12th of November.
Right,
so basically all
Comics.
the people who come to Luca Comics and Games will have the chance to see the exhibition if they want, because it's just half an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's you know, again, I can't and didn't, you've had smaller exhibits. I know you did something over at Metropolis once. I feel like there was an exhibit going on during the pandemic that maybe was an alternative to this, something smaller that we played some videos for, but this is good. Well, clearly a lot of people would love to see this come to North America one way or another, whether it was in Canada or someplace in the States. But I'm with you on that. Any exhibit like this really has to involve the collectors too, because you know, you're selling a lot of this artwork and trying to get the collectors to give pieces back. It's never easy to put together a show that might be able to travel, or you know, like you said, you were getting Italian collectors to give work for this show, right? I assume you probably didn't have
actually, there were some international collectors who were kind enough to leave us the pieces. So instead of receiving them,
collecting them,
receiving them at home.
Oh yeah.
When they were supposed to do, they said you can keep, you guys can keep them until the end of the show. But in some case, this means 6 to 7 months, because it was before the opening of the exhibition, before we finished the catalog.
Yeah, we actually sold some pieces in Lake Como, which was held in May.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those pieces are actually still up on the walls of the exhibition, and they will be shipped at the end of the exhibition, supposedly in this early December. So yeah, I can't thank you enough for all these fine people. And I think Matt has a couple of pieces up there too.
Anthony too.
Anthony, yes, I can see.
Say his name. Say his name.
Anthony Procopio. Thank you so much. What is this? I don't remember his piece. Which piece?
The Spider-Man aiming to the moon piece.
Oh, okay. Grazie, Anthony. Matt, he's got the samurai, right? Matt.
And Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Ah, è vero, giusto. Okay, so from now on, it's going to be all Italian. Yeah.
But, you know, as far as being a collector and having that, I also think it's
sorry, Malcolm too.
Yeah, but, you know,
reaching out, and he was kind enough to leave us the Hulk case for the exhibition.
You know, being a collector and having your pieces featured at an exhibition like that, to me, this is just me speaking, but it was a no-brainer, because I want people to be able to appreciate Simone's art, and the more eyes that get to see it, the more it, you know, can elevate the hobby and bring in new people that have never, like Bill said, never considered buying original art. But when Gloria says it, it's so true. The scans just don't do it justice. When you round a corner and you see a painting that just absolutely blows you away, there's just no better feeling. I mean, it's truly amazing. And I think that's what, whether it's a page, an illustration, a painting, that's what gets us hooked. And to be able to have a great group of collectors to, you know, give these pieces back and have them put on display, it's really amazing. And I'm going to Italy in a couple weeks, and I want to go see the exhibition so bad, because I love seeing other collectors' pieces that I've never seen in real life before, and getting to really just enjoy it all. So, you know, without Gloria, Barbara, and Simone, but the collectors that were willing to have those in there, it was a very nice touch, because it made it just, you know, what's the total, Gloria? 130 pieces? 125?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
112.
that's an arsenal of original art that would take
An
some
arsenal.
Yeah, an
An
arsenal.
arsenal.
Years
You
and years to do. So
You stolen that from me, right?
I did an arsenal of art.
An arsenal of artwork. Okay.
And it seemed, from the photographs and the video, it looked like it was grouped by characters, right? Is that I saw a Thor section and X-related characters.
What the creator had in mind is we will have visitors who are superhero fans and know everything about the characters. But I want these collectors to come with his friend, with his family, who maybe don't know anything, and being able to recognize the different groups, who belongs to what group. And what a lot of people said, actually, the exhibition is readable by people who are not that familiar. So you don't get confused too much. So yeah, they did a good job.
I saw a couple of questions in the chat. Can people actually purchase a signed copy of the book that accompanies the exhibition?
We gotta check, because they did not that many copies, and they had the copies at the museum. So for the visitors, we've got the copies for the collectors who let us the pieces. But I don't know how many exactly they will allow us to have.
But either way, it's gonna be at the end of the exhibition. If we're gonna have any left, it's gonna be through our website, of course, www.simonebianchi.com. But again, it's not written in the stones, as they say. We have Alonso, Luis. Hey, okay. I'm just watching it's nice. Luis, it's a friend of me and man, a close friend.
Yes, absolutely. What's going on, brother?
And so, but I mean, it's been really a ton of work for all of us, and a ton of stress too, dealing with putting the whole things together. But finally, it's happening, and we're really, really proud and happy it's happening.
You should be. I mean, that's again, I wish I could go see it myself. I know I won't, but Matt, have you seen it? Because
about 2 weeks I'll be there and gonna go see it. Yep, I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. So that immersive experience they have with all the screens and like the different shots of the art. Like, I mean, it's like that. I can't wait for that. Gloria will probably leave me there for 3 hours, and I'll just sit in one spot and relax.
No, he's right. Matt is right. We didn't say that, but what they were, the Comune di Livorno and Fondazione di Livorno were able to do an immersive experience. So Simone's piece, there is a big room with Simone's piece projected, and there are mirrors on the sides. So you basically see the pieces getting animated. And it is something that this company called, I think, Art Media Studio, they only did for Monet, Van Gogh exhibitions. So again, it's been a success for the curator, who managed to, because all these things have a cost, and he managed to convince the politics too that it was time to invest on an original comic art exhibition so much, and they did. So it's another goal achieved in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. I saw the Van Gogh exhibition in Amsterdam a few years ago, and it's a similar kind of immersive feel to it. So clearly they invested a lot of time and money in making this show, again, be like a fine art show, like we're used to seeing for, old masters, right? And at the end of the day, it's you. I mean, again, it's wonderful, Simone. It couldn't have happened to a better person and again, at the right time in your career, because you figure with all the great work you've already created, just imagine, where you're going to be 10 years from now, the amount of work that, because you're pretty prolific at the end of the day. You put a lot of work out there. And
no, definitely. If I look back at my working life, I was going through some portfolios like 2 weeks ago, and I just every now and then I abruptly realize how much I did, and I'm still hopefully halfway, maybe even less. Yeah, but the thing is that I am moved to a constant willing of getting better and better, and it feels like it's never enough. I got some outstanding example in front of me, like, you know, artists whose work I can watch, look up to, and I feel like I still have a long way to go. And but I mean, it's a joy for me. It's not a burden, you know. Like, for me, drawing and painting, it's still the thing that I enjoy doing the best and the most of anything else, basically. So yeah, I did a lot, and hopefully I will be doing even more in the next 50 to 60 years, I guess. Then I'll go retire.
Then we'll have another retrospective of all your work.
Yeah, definitely. Like a 2,000 pieces exhibition.
Well, that's when we can make the compendium, which is like 5 decades of art all in one book. You know, like the massive copy, like 50 years of just all of your work. The book will be this thick. It'll be beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, jokes aside, Matt and Bill both, I actually start having my comic book published when I was 15. So now I'm 51. It's 36 years already. It's a long time.
But you're just getting started.
I'm just getting started. Yeah. Then I need at least one extra life for playing the drums like full time, which I'm not gonna have time enough during this lifetime. But we'll talk about it in another life.
So, you know, obviously, you know, with a fine art kind of bent to your work, because, you know, there definitely aren't enough painters in the, you know, in generating comic book work, but there always have been. I think if we, you know, look back in time, somebody was always painting, whether it was back to the days of the guys in the men's magazines like Gray Morrow and, you know, and those sorts of people, you know, all the way up to today. But so comics was always going to be your profession. I mean, if you made your first published work at 15, you knew even at that point that you didn't have another career path. You were going to make comics work one way or another. Or is it an accident completely that we have your wonderful work to grace the comics that we have today?
You're way too nice. If I only would be a little bit humble, I would blush. But I'm not humble, so yeah, I keep a straight face. Yeah, you're way too nice, Bill, as usual. Honest to God, I started when I was 15, and then for quitting when I was 17, 18 for 2 years, because I was actually studying and practicing drums, you know, and I want that to be my profession. But then right back when I was 20, I got you know, dragged back into comic books, and I got back to draw full time. I had to quit playing for a long time, and since then it's been nonstop. It's when I was 20, that's when I really first realized that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and that's what I did. But I think it was something that it was meant to be, because as a lot of you guys know, my dad is being and is still a painter his whole life. So I grew up with, you know, like canvas, brushes, and oil and acrylic colors my whole life. So I think somehow it was meant to be right from the start. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to, you know, like, I'm just trying to do it again as long as I can and as best as I can. But there wouldn't, the only other full-time job that I would love to do would be being a musician, but that's it. I can't think of another job that I like as much.
Well, I mean,
maybe being a professional jet ski driver.
Fisherman now. I mean, you're
fisherman. I was pretty good at fishing. No, okay. It's just a joke. For Matt, he actually had me fishing my first fish when I was in Wilson, Buffalo, about a month ago. It was my first catch. Thank you so much.
well, what did you catch?
That's a good question.
like a crappie. It was beautiful. Bobber and a worm, pure happiness. His kids were great at it. Everybody enjoyed.
Who is the best cast?
Oh, you got the best cast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it was funny. But I mean, seriously, I couldn't think of another full-time job other than the one that I'm doing.
Well, again, I think we're very fortunate to have you, interested in doing comics, and I've loved your work since I first saw it. I hate to say I did get a convention sketch from you probably about like 2004 or so, and I no longer have it.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was at San Diego.
Yeah,
and the thing, it was Wolverine, and I remember, the reason I went to seek you out was because you were one of the few people adding color to pieces and painting, and doing that, and that's what I loved about your stuff immediately, and I loved the style too. But it was adding color, that was really something that made it special, and we as art collectors, there's guys that love just pen and ink, and then there's people who only collect painted pieces. But it was nice to have that variety. You get to see your pencil work on a piece that also had color was just fantastic. And I knew right from the time I got that Wolverine was a perfect character for you to do.
I love it.
Let's see here. So I think one of the only questions I've seen it pop up twice. I mean, out of all the characters that you work on, do you have a favorite one?
Wolverine, of course.
There we go.
I'm getting this question asked so many times that I'm start thinking maybe I will start answering a different answer every time, and have people figure out their own way. But I mean, jokes aside, other than Wolverine, me and Matt, we also share a favorite character, which is Black Bolt. Though I have to say, not only Black Bolt, I'm a huge Inhumans fan. I love those characters, all of them.
I agree with Steven.
Stick around, Steven. Stick around. Doom is amazing, but I'll throw one out there that I have no idea. I mean, maybe Simone will elaborate, but characters, I don't know if he loves them, but loves to paint are Cloak and Dagger. He loves Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Simone, why do you like him? I don't know. I just like him. He's a big Cloak and Dagger guy.
Yeah, it's true. It's not even that I read any of those character stories. It's just I like the way they look. But there's so many enjoyable, cool characters. What is that?
Kafra, right here. Bianchi loves MODOK.
You love MODOK. Everybody seems to have a favorite.
Yeah. Yes, Thanos. Matt loves Black Bolt. Yeah.
Well, but you do them all so well. Because I had written down, like, is it Marvel or DC? But I knew that this was going to actually go down to individual characters. So, but your style just fits so well, with pretty much any character. I think that the joy of your painting kind of comes through with anything. I mean, I can look at a Batman piece, and I'm not a huge Batman fan, but I love the work. I love like the pencil piece we're showing in here today. I was admiring it for a while because I think your style is so unique, and your pencil work really is, I should say your painted work is emulated in your pencils. The way you handle the line work, I really enjoy kind of going back and forth between seeing a painted piece and something that you've done just in pencil, because it gives me a little bit of insight into how you like lay out a page or think about the work. So like there's that Thor sketch that ends up being a painting. It's great to see, all the process work that goes into that sketch, even though that sketch is an absolutely beautiful finished piece of art in itself, and then see how you've taken, you know, that piece and translated it into painting, because you can kind of see how, you know, how you think and how you approach design and composition really in the pieces. And it's wonderful to see. And you don't get that with you know, with artists that only work in pen and ink, right? I think that's something unique that we can't dive into with every artist that we appreciate, but we can with yours. Oh,
yeah, on this subject, I'm actually the first fan of, you know, like preliminary work or pencils. I often like the pre-work, you know, much better than the final work, and it goes for my stuff too. Like I love to see what lays behind the final painting, you know, because the way I see it, when I see a pencil of some artist, it looks to me like I can understand that artist thinking much better out of his pencils than not out of the final painting a lot of times. And, you know, like the way an artist can build up things or make composition in a way instead of another one. It's like it's the better way to approach and to dive into an artist's mind or point of view, sometimes much better than the final work themselves.
Yeah, I think Anthony, you know, said it best. You need the process, and I think being able to, you know, go from a layout sketch that's on an 8x5x11, and then going to the pencils, and then transitioning the preliminary pencils into the washes or into the painting, you really get to see Simone flex all of his muscles, because there's some guys that are just painters, just pencil inkers, like as Bill was saying, and to really see it from start to finish, and he can literally flex his muscles. You know, but you get to see the whole process, and I think it's such a cool thing, and it's very interesting on sometimes how it changes from the pencil layout of composition to how it ends on the preliminary to then what's changed in the painting, and that process is lost with some people, you know, that maybe only work in digital mediums or whatever it may be. So it's still very cool that Simone has that traditional approach to give all of the process to see the final product. It's not just boom, this is it. This is how we got here, and I think that's super cool.
Can I quote this Angelo guy who I don't have a clue who said why could be small muscles, great artist. Okay, dear Angelo, I will give you an answer in private about when the whole thing live is gonna be over. I will text Matt my answer for Angelo, and Matt will forward my my answer to Angelo.
Yeah, he's actually probably making some pizza logs to mail over to Italy for you.
Yeah, right now. Ciao, Angelo.
Well, it was nice in the exhibit where they had the pencil piece framed with the painted piece or beside one another. And you know, I think that's important for people to kind of get an understanding, you know, that it's not, you don't just sit down at a canvas and just whip that thing out, right? You really have to work through probably a small set of prelims to maybe a 1-to-1 size pencil, you know, prelim of the piece to get to the painted piece. So, you know, a lot of people just think artists sit down and the art just kind of spews out of them, and there isn't any real work involved in it. You know, I mean, you know, you hear that a lot. I mean, I'm sure artists, I always hear stories of things that, you know, fans ask or say to artists, you know, at shows. They don't necessarily understand that there is so much involved with it. I mean, you didn't just get this good, you know, by you know, reading a book or picking up a paintbrush. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and process pieces are, you know, like I saw a lot of people mention, they love seeing that because it really is an insight into, you know, your workflow, and that's important to a lot of us. I mean, I've always enjoyed understanding the whole path to the end of a work of art or the end of a project. It's really important. Just like talking about how when Gloria and Barbara put together the show, it didn't happen the month before, it happened years before. And that's important. You can do a documentary on stuff like that. So, you know, the beginning of the process to the finished piece or project is always really important. Oh, yeah, I didn't mean it like that, Wade. Come on. But hey, Matt, we're already at 40 minutes. You told me we wanted to, you know, kind of move things along, but we're having too much fun right now.
Too much. There's no time. There's no time frame.
There's no time. Well, you know, our audience.
It's surprising we're having a good time, because Matt is no fun. It's not funny at all to me. It doesn't look fun. It's no fun.
Right. I mean, he takes you fishing when you come out for a vacation. I mean, you know.
And you gotta understand, this guy didn't touch the worms. He didn't touch the seaweed. He didn't. I mean, it was a full, you know, gear up for him. Eventually, he touched the worm at the end, but I was nervous that maybe he'd hook himself and then he wouldn't be able to paint, and then the whole world was going to be mad at me. So I had to take good care of the hands.
Well, but that's true. That was cool that you got a vacation though, Simone. I remember I saw an interview that you did, I think, while you were at Matt's, and you had talked about how you really haven't taken personal time a lot, you know, since you got into doing comics so long ago. So it's important. Everybody needs a break every now and again.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, at the end of this of the day, I took almost a month off, which wasn't happening in a long time, and it's good, because right now that I got back to work, I can feel it, that I can, you know, like I have a better working flow. You know, everything comes much more naturally and with less effort. So I definitely needed a little bit of a time off. So I think Gloria too, she also needs some time off, because it's been a very the past 2 years, they've been really
but in particularly
intensive.
last spring for a series of circumstances were really too full with scheduled stuff to do and to deliver and to attend. So summer really came and needed a stop, to just put a stop and then restart from them.
Well, I saw that you've got a workshop coming up in Florence.
Yes,
art workshop with Lucio Perillo. I mean, that's got to be. Have you done one of those before? I mean, I think it's going to be. I hope people, you know, shoot some video and take a lot of photographs during that, because I want to be a fly on the wall for something like that. It's got to be an honor. I mean, I know Perillo's done, I think, these before, and they're always interesting. You know, I think when an artist gets invited to do something like that, it's got to be. How do you turn down an opportunity to do something like that?
First of all, thanks a lot, Bill, for bringing this up. So Lucio, he's been hosting these workshops for quite some time now in his studio in Florence. He did some with Riccardo Federici, Gabriele Dell'Otto, Claudio Castellini, Boris Vallejo. Also, he went down there, and Julie Bell too. So me and Lucio, we go way back. I've known Lucio for a long time. So he reached out to me, I want to say last May, like the end of April, and he just asked me if I was gonna be interested in doing one of these workshops. And just for I used to teach, and I spent a lot of time teaching when I was in my 30s. Then when things really start to work out for me with American publisher, and I didn't have any time left out of my daily working schedule, I had to give up teaching at all, all at the same time. So this time in Florence is going to be the first time for me to actually go back to real teaching experience, and I can't wait. because I'm the first one to be extremely curious if I will be able to come posso dire trasmettere no, to transfer what I learned in this past 20 years since I stopped teaching on a regular base to all these fine yellow fine folks that they're gonna come and enjoy the workshop. So I'm gonna be the first one to be, like to be curious to the way I will be. Will I be able, like, again, to transfer? Will I be able to explain what I learned in a more like very understandable way for everybody to to improve with their own skill? It's not an easy thing to do, especially because it's going to be just 3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, and Saturday, a whole weekend in Florence, and it's going to be Friday. The whole day is going to be a drawing class. So we start from scratch, and at the end of the Sunday, which means Saturday and Sunday, we're supposed to have a final piece, a final painting. So Saturday and Sunday, we build 100% focus on painting, the thing that we supposed to be drawing on the Friday. And the almighty Matt DiTullio will be also there filming, taking videos and pictures out of the whole thing for people to understand of course, we won't be able to stream the whole thing, but me and Matt, hopefully, Gloria, she's supposed to come to on a Sunday, we will be able to have to at least give people a feeling of what was going on during those 3 days. So it's something I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a surprise for everybody and for me in the first place.
Well, it's been a while since you've taught, but it's going to be great. I'm glad Matt's going to film it. And if there's anything that we can do after this, it's done, Matt, I'd be happy to show some of it on the channel for people too.
Yeah, very cool. I'm going to try to, one of my friends, Ben, he does some digital editing, and he can, I'm going to try to put it together and do something, and I'd love to get it over to you. But I think really,
I'd be happy to help show the world.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for, to get to see. I kind of look at it as to get to see into the process of how Simone works and be firsthand, and for him to be able to articulate, what's in his mind, to be able to transfer it, onto the original works. And I think it's something that, people have been wanting to see from Simone. So I'm very excited about it. And I can't wait to be there and be able to document some of it. And I'd love to wrap it up and get it over to you so you can get it on the channel.
Fantastic. Question from the audience. I mean, art related. Somebody wanted to know if you actually ever take commissions, Simone.
Not at the moment.
You probably don't have time.
No, I still owe one commission to Matt from last May in Lake Como. He's still laying on my couch. The commission, no Matt. So right now it's me and Gloria. We do have like 3 full pages like this, full of people with characters, but it's I don't know if and when I will ever be able to make everybody happy. So I can't take any commissions right now, especially because I just got started working on something really big, like a comic book, a graphic novel. And it's going to be a lot of pages, and it's going to take the whole year. So I'm sorry. Yeah, like not at the moment, but I will eventually in the future, soon as I have some time, which is a luxury that I don't own. Like time is the most precious thing, and it feels like there's never enough. Especially if you want to play drums and painting at the same time.
Right, exactly, and be a world-renowned comic painter. I agree with you, but this is maybe a good segue in that we've teased it often enough. I saw, Matt's teased it, but can we state now that you will be coming to OAX in January? And, I think it's those opportunities where you're not taking commissions, but people can actually, get something from you in person that, might not be at that, what somebody might consider a high, super valuable commission, but they can actually get something from you. And what are your, with that being said, I've hinted at it that you might be coming too, but it's nice to be able to finally say it. I just wanted you to know that I really appreciate it, because you were one of the first people that I talked to about doing the show. I felt like if you were coming to the show, it would validate the idea of what we were trying to do with OAX, which was, really make a show that works in the States, that's focused on original comic art, but it is kind of towards my goal of bringing in people who I feel are fine artists as well, and just really doing something that again elevates the hobby, elevates the medium, and really highlights the people who are doing the really special work today, or even in the past. But I love, again, you were right up there. You were like, I think, the second person that we thought of as wanting to be at the show, and I know you couldn't commit it early, but I'm really happy that you're going to be there.
Capito. He was talking to me or to Matt?
To you.
Oh,
Matt.
I didn't know I was painting at the event. I didn't know I was drawing.
Yes, okay. Exactly.
Because I saw no reaction. And
I saw Gloria, Capito, like you got it?
I'm happy Matt's going to be there too, but not as happy as having you there.
Sorry. I'm getting too old. That's and I'm swimming too much. So that's what I. Now, first of all, Bill, I cannot thank you enough for having me, for inviting me, because I think that Matt already told you what kind of an incredible experience is Lake Como, which is exactly what I think you guys want to do with OAX. It's just the way I explain Lake Como to people who have never been there, never been lucky enough to attend, is that imagine if you can walk, you have like you can walk through like 80, 90 different artist studios all over the world just in one place. That's exactly what it is. We're all there. We're all working, painting. Everybody can see the real thing. Why we're doing it, like doing pencil or doing paintings. And I think there's nothing better for a comic collector. It's like being, bouncing all over the world from one artist studio to the other one in just a big room. And it's enjoyable for artists in the first place, for ourselves. It's beautiful. Like, I remember the first time that we actually did Como, I was able to take a little break and go over at Bill Sienkiewicz, talk to Bill a little bit. Bill would come over. I went and say hi to Travis Charest. All like our comic book art heroes and legends. And you just walk from one table to the other, and it's like moving from one universe to the other one. So it's really a great experience, as much as for collector, as much for ourselves. For the
artist. Exactly. Yeah, and that's what was really important to us, was making sure that the artist wanted to be
now,
there too.
Is Matt coming too?
He is invited.
Okay, because if Matt is coming too, I'm not sure. I'm coming for sure.
I'll make sure he doesn't know where your table is set up.
Okay.
But I think when Bill first brought this idea of OAX to me, it was actually a no-brainer. I was like, this is something that is just that the United States needs. It's something where think, all of the people here are original art collectors. When you go to these conventions now, and I'm very happy that everybody has their own way of collecting, but when 50% of the convention is stuffed animals or Funko Pops or whatever it is, it kind of waters down what you're there for in our collecting space. And I think what OAX is really going to bring is, I think that it's just a collector of original comic book art convention. If you love original comic book art and you want to see some of the best artists that this industry has to offer as a whole, you want to come to an event like this, because yes, Lake Como is very special, but it's also, as Simone said, it's like sensory overload. You get to look through a portfolio of a guy that you only get to see once every couple years, and then you turn around and then there's another guy that you only get to see once every couple years in the United States, and then there's another guy that the Branoffs, the Assads, the Simones, the Gabrieles, but it's just a dream for an original art collector. So when Bill originally, we started speaking about this, I kind of went right to Simone and Gloria. I was like, guys, this is something, that I think is just immediately going to take off with the reach that Bill has and with such an amazing platform with comic art fans. And I'm so happy that it's come to fruition, because I think this is something that we sorely needed in the hobby in the United States. And I'm very honored, to be able to be a small part of, getting Simone there and having something like this in the United States. So if anybody's considering going to OAX or you're on the fence, I wouldn't wait, because it's just going to be awesome. I can't wait for January. So
same here. There's a lot of work to go in. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what OAX is, I get to show the dates for you. Simone, I got to get your name on this list, because I've had this graphic made for about a month now, and we didn't have you committed at that time. But it's going to be January 26th through 28th in Orlando, Florida. So an easy destination for people to get to. I mean, one of the most affordable to fly to in the U.S. after Las Vegas. So an easy path to getting there. The website where you can get more information is just OAX. It's oa-expo.com, and you can get ticket pricing and hotel links over there and everything. And anybody who we've been really fortunate. I can tell you that we're right around 200 tickets sold already, and we're 5 months out. And for me, looking at the ticket buyers, I don't even recognize half the names. And that's what's really great. Wonderful for me is I've been told that there's a lot of collectors that are going to be coming to this that don't even have CAF galleries, that, because there's a lot of, CAF doesn't represent the entire collecting community out there. And a lot of people like to be private. And I've been hearing that a lot of those private collectors that we would never have the opportunity to meet, or know that they were standing across from you at a table at San Diego or New York, we're going to get to meet these people there. And, and that, I think that's what's one of the really interesting aspects of this, the show is just if you put 500-600 artists, collectors, and art sellers, reps, dealers, all in one room, it's going to be magic. It really is going to be an exciting weekend.
I'm sure I'm looking forward to it a lot, despite Matt is going to be there. But I'm assuming you're going to add even more names to that list, right?
Oh yeah. We're not halfway there yet. We're really? Definitely going to have. Wow. Yeah, so it's gonna, but we're shooting for around 60 artists. I think we want to keep the ratio really, favorable to both collectors and the artists that are there. We want to make sure that everybody, the artists are selling art, the collectors have enough people to buy artwork from. So we don't want to overdo it, but that's kind of that's the target that we're shooting for. And we do have, I've got ongoing conversations with lots of people. I did ask for Boris, and Julie, but Boris doesn't fly too much anymore. He would have been wonderful to have. Because again, Boris is somebody who a lot of artists have never met, and he's somebody that, and
I would love to meet him.
Yeah. See, and I've gotten to see him at a show in Pennsylvania 4 or 5 times, but, and so I'm good friends with somebody who's good friends with him. And he just said, if the show was in Pennsylvania, we could probably get Boris to it, but unfortunately not there. But that was kind of the
January is not ideal either. So it's
no, not at all.
It's much nicer.
Yes. But that was one of the questions we were asking a lot of the artists early on, was just like, well, what other artists or creators would you be interested in meeting? And just taking a list and trying to figure out, those names. And now I can ask you that. I mean, I don't need it live here, but those are things that were important to us, because I want you to be excited about, who some of the other guests are as well, just for that same reason you were talking about earlier, getting to go over and talk to Travis or, or another painter like a Sean Phillips or something. Having those people in the same room with you is exciting for you as well. And I don't want it to feel like work for anybody.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not work. It's like, it's pleasure, and it's double pleasure when it's shared with collectors too. Someone needs to convince Gab to come. I don't know.
If you were gonna read that one.
Who's Gab? I never heard of him. Some guy from Rome, some short guy from Rome. We never heard about. Okay, so again, I can't thank you, Bill, enough for inviting me. And I actually came to Florida last year. It was It was the end. We actually briefly met, right?
Yes, we did at MegaCon.
It's beautiful. The weather was just spectacular. So is it going to be that beautiful and warm in January too?
It should be. It should be. Yeah, end of February. It should be around 75 to 80 during the day. And the weather's going to be nice. It may not be pool weather, but hey, when you're coming from
don't worry, I got enough pool this summer in Italy. I'm spending every single day for about an hour and 50 minutes every single day. I can't skip the pool for a week in Florida. I can't live with that.
And then I look at it as whatever the weather is going to be, it's going to be better than what it is in Buffalo in January. So it's going to
exactly.
If it's above 55, I'd be thrilled. That's all I need. We're going to be taking a 10 down here.
If it's going to be above 0, it's going to be better than Buffalo.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. Well, I used to live in Northeast Ohio, so that's why I'm down here.
Oh, yeah, you get it.
Yeah, I know what Buffalo is like. A couple of questions here before we start the sales side of things. Black Spiders want to know: are you going to New York City Comic Con this year? Because I forget. I didn't think you were. Right?
It's actually Gloria's fault. She doesn't want me to. No, I'm kidding. It's too close to Luca. I mean, I'm gonna give you just the most honest reason why. It's too close to Luca, and Luca for us is just a lot of work. It's just. Luca, it's again something that it's one of those shows where if you've never been to, you can understand what we're talking about. It's just something like not even huge, not even colossal. We need to come up with a different word. It's just a zombie invasion. So it's too close to Luca, and we have all the original art on the wall of the exhibition. So it would be really hard for us to come to New York and make it New York Comic Con possible this year. I will be trying my best to come back. We will be trying our best to come back next year. But again, it really is a very unfortunate time of the year. What is that?
That was Fausto. Thank you, Fausto.
Awesome. And so no, I won't be able. We won't be able to make New York.
Last year, doing New York Comic Con and Luca Comics and Games was really long.
Yeah, that's a lot of time away from home.
That's true.
Such a short gap in between.
When you're preparing for the biggest show, and you're away on the other side of the world. So
that's good. And so OAX will be your next show in the US then. We can safely say that right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah, OAX is going to be my next one. And if I won't be doing New York Comic Con 2024, it's going to be my only show in the States, actually. Pretty right. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, best case scenario, it's going to be OAX in January and New York Comic Con at the end of 2024. We'll see. I'm getting too old and I don't like to travel as much as I used to. I want to stay home with my family, painting, and no. Jokes aside, I actually love doing conventions We had such an amazing time in Orlando. You remember that, Matt? With my friend Otis and Matt. And I mean, we really had a spectacular time. But it takes a lot of time, energies, and it's, you know, like it's hard for us flying back to Europe for European artists like me, flying back to Europe and being able to go back to draw and paint like the very next day. It always takes some time to adjust, and so it's not that easy. And I'm 51 now. I'm not 25, 30 anymore. Where I mean, that's when I started doing American comic book convention. And that was like 21 years ago. And I know it sounds a little discouraging, but discouraging. But 21 years can make for a huge difference. Anyhow, on a higher note, I can't wait to be in Florida. Actually, I will be staying at least a month in Florida just for the sake of it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean it's beautiful. Oh my God, it's just perfect weather.
Gloria, is Gloria coming too?
Yes.
Good.
This time, yes.
Fantastic.
Unless there's something unexpected, our plans are.
Well,
yeah.
No, we
great
need
if
you
you
there,
can
Gloria.
come out.
What?
It would be great if you can come out and spend a few extra days in town. There's plenty to do.
No, yeah, but she's gonna fly back the next after the No, me, I might seriously considering spending some extra days in Florida because it was a great time. So Matt, make some time, and we'll spend like.
Oh, now you want to hang out with me?
No. It was just for driving me around.
Okay, just be here. That's what I thought. Just to schedule your
that's
dinner.
the only reason why I want you to stay those extra days.
No problem.
I have some friends. I mean, as long as you can drive me around, I have some friends.
I'd be honored. I'd be honored.
Jet skiing around me.
In between the commissions that you'll be taking while you're at OAX, Matt, because we know you're going to be doing some drawing while you're there too.
Yeah, I'm
right?
handling the commissions now. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, seriously, we still have to think about commissions. And,
we'll launch some opportunities. For OAX probably around November. Correct, Gloria? That's what we think in timetable wise, and we'll obviously communicate that with Bill. So everybody on the channel can know what's going on. But with Simone's schedule currently, it's better for us to take the time and make sure that we can deliver with what we say we're going to do when it comes to OAX.
Exactly. I mean, I know you've got that big project coming up, Simone. So really, any kind of special work that you can do for our attendees leading up to it, and that we can help you promote and everything.
Oh, you mean for AOX?
Yeah, for OAX. Yes.
Honest to God, Bill, we need to sit down and
yeah. Oh, I know. There's lots. That's why we're talking November.
And like the other thing is, I have to see the way. I mean, Matt and Gloria seriously speaking for about 5 minutes, and then we go back to the usual. Being a mood swinger as much as I am, I have to be, am I gonna be, able to take how many commissions? Like serious, like giving you the perfect example. Last year in Como, I was burnt out big time, and I wanted to do more. That's that's the reason why Matt's commission is still sitting there. And so hopefully I'm going to be, refreshed and restored and rested. And I will be able to take as many commissions as possible. But I have to see the way things are going from today all the way to the end of January or February. The end of January. But again, I mean, I took 1 month rest 1 month off on purpose to be able to work throughout the whole year, the best and the most that I can throughout the next 12 months. So I promise I'm gonna make some collectors very, very happy, extremely happy. I don't know how many. So to make a long story short, I don't know how many collectors I'll be able to make happy, but I know that I will some of them very happy. That's it.
That's true. Well, hey, I remember you sleeping under the table during MegaCon. I know you were overworked at that time.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
But you did more work at that show than I've ever seen you do before. Even so
it's impressive.
I certainly don't expect that. I mean, at the end of I even told Matt the other day, I'd rather have Simone do less than do more, just because whatever you are able to do is what's important. I don't want people you overextending yourself or overworking yourself, because if OAX feels like work, you're never going to want to come again. So I don't want it to feel like that. That was when he and I were talking the other day, I specifically said that only do what doesn't put you out of into a position where you're not happy. But we'll be talking more about that later in the fall. So look forward to that.
And the only thing that I can promise you is that I will be taking another nap under the table during the convention as well. I'm making a point in being able to take a nap every single convention I'm attending all over the world. Lucca, Angoulême, Toronto. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Dubai, I actually took one in Dubai, everywhere. It doesn't matter. Because if I can lay down and have like a 15-20 minutes power nap, that means that I will be power on for the rest of the day, and everybody's gonna be much happier. Me in the first place, and Gloria too in the second place.
And the weird thing is, whenever he jumps out of the table, nobody seems to be surprised as you would. So
because they don't realize that I was actually.
People don't think that someone could be sleeping under a table at a convention. So.
Well, one of the only things he's better at than painting and drumming is napping. I mean, I've never seen this guy. Yeah. He can nap anywhere at any time with a moment's notice. He can get a nap. There's no. It's unbelievable. He's borderline autistic. He really is. It's insane.
It's true, but remember that I didn't take any today to finish one of the pieces that you're gonna show.
That is
I
true.
finished that piece about 45 minutes before going live.
And I got the scan. I was able to put that slide together too. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. So no nap today. I will be taking some longer tomorrow.
I love bring a comfy pillow and your favorite blanket. One of the main things that I had to bring to MegaCon last year or earlier this year was, and I quote, a thick yoga mat. So I had to bring a thick yoga mat so he could, he had something to lay on for when he got tired. It was important. I still have it. It'll be brought to OAX, and just in case, you never know.
Well, I can tell you this: we're not to keep talking about OAX, but the OAX, the hall is heavily carpeted. It's not concrete.
Oh, this guy just got so happy.
It is. Your feet won't hurt when the show is over. Kazar, who's doing the show with me, he mentioned there's Bianchi. Friendly alcoves, because it actually is set up that way, so you don't have to lie on the floor. We can actually give you a nice alcove that's private, so that when you want that 30-minute power nap, you've got it.
Absolutely. So our dear friend William Lawson, he's pointing out, and it's true. It's historically true, that Leonardo da Vinci used to sleep 15 minutes every 4 hours in order to have, as much time as possible to do the million things, genius things that he came up with, paintings in the first places. Yeah, but that wouldn't work with me, because I would need like 1 hour every 2 hours nap, at least, to be able to draw and paint. But it's true. It's not just a legend. He really did. He managed to to adjust his body to sleep every 4 hours, just 15 minutes.
Hey, I'm 55 and I've started taking power naps pretty much every day now. I need my 30-minute nap in the middle of the afternoon. I took one today before the show.
I didn't, because of this show.
I'm sorry. Then well, I had to be fresh for it, so it is what it is. But well, why don't we swing into the show side, the sales side of the show, because we can talk about the pieces. There's plenty to talk about here. We got 20 pieces of art to show. We did say 21 earlier, but we did pull one, so we're only going to show 20 pieces of art today. A couple things to note is that shipping is included in the price. I know that's something that I had some questions about.
Be right back.
That's Thursday, but the price on the artwork does include shipping, and all of the art is shipping from Italy. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
we are shipping from Italy. So if we have to ship outside of Europe, we need 3-4 weeks, because we need to fill some forms to ship the art properly, safely, and the right way. We just need this time to get some forms that testify that the art leaves Italy correctly and reach the final destination properly.
And for any collectors that are going to be purchasing, I want to give a shout out to Gloria and their shipper Gaetano. Do not worry about packaging. It always the packaging, the safety of the art is it's the best packaging you're going to get. Gloria and Gaetano take great care of Simone's art when it goes out. So I've had a couple people reach out to me individually and say oh, what's the shipping like? Is it done correctly? This thing is like bulletproof. It's arriving. Trust me, it's going to it'll get there perfect. So nobody needs to worry about that as far as the shipping.
Our motto is, if you had a doubt, add another stuff. So, so yeah.
That is wonderful. And payment is going to be done through PayPal, and I'll put the email address out that those can be done and get sent to as well in a little bit. And I did want to stress that we talked about it. There's a question I got from a couple of collectors too. The time payments are okay. I mean, that's something that you'll end up having to work out with Gloria, of course, after the show. But they're definitely willing to work with you on these. Some of the pieces are, they might be out. The thing is, bottom line is, they want to make sure you can get some of the pieces, even if it might take you, a couple months to pay it off. That's the important thing. I mean, and I've always, one of these days, I'm going to be doing time payments with Simone to pick up a piece, because, it's either that or I've got to get on his convention sketch list. But that doesn't happen too often. And I'm not going to take a spot at OAX either. I've already committed myself to waiting, maybe till OAX 2 or something. So
we got a couple of Thors for you to look at today, Bill. So maybe... I
know. I saw them. I'm like, well, I might have a big purchase coming up in my near future, not art related. So I kind of have to be a good, I have to be a good guy, keep my wife happy, and not spend any, money that isn't earmarked towards this other thing, if it happens. But it's something that is going to be up in the air for a couple months for us.
Bill, are you getting your wife a Ferrari? Is that what's going on? A luxury car?
No.
Packages like a ninja.
Not me who packages, though. I can't take credit for that. It's
Tarek, what's going on, man? That's Tarek.
Oh,
Packages like a ninja.
Malcolm sees that you're smoking. On the other hand, smoking speeds up brain aging. But Simone smokes just to not lose the habit. He doesn't smoke all the time. He just smokes so he doesn't lose the habit of smoking. It's
exactly.
So did I miss anything? I think I've got it all covered. But like you said, Gloria, the art will be shipping it closer towards the end of September to get the paperwork done and to get everything packed properly and get it shipped out. So that's kind of the time frame that we're working with on getting the artwork out and into your hands and stuff. And I hope that anybody picks anything up, that it ends up on CAF, because we don't have enough Simone artwork on comicartfans.com. There can always be more, right? And I think that's fairly true. I think we can always use another painted piece or even a pencil piece there. So anything else, Gloria, Matt? I think we got it all. Okay. Cool. So, all right. Well, we're going to go ahead and look at some of the pieces of art here. And like I said, we got 20
Bill,
pieces.
we're going to do claims in the chat, right?
Oh,
So
yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
I get so used to everybody knowing how these things work. Claims will happen in the chat. It is not going by email. We do the email ones every once in a while when we have an artist on the show, but not today. Claims will happen in the chat. All lots are numbered. We did pull lot 11 out. So we've got, we basically got lots 1 through 10 and then 12 through 21 that we're going to be showing today. So when you want to claim a piece of art, you just type in claim and the lot number itself. Claim and a 1. We know which one you're talking about. I can tell you that we in the studio always see the order of claims properly. Sometimes when you're in YouTube, you're not going to see it the same way we see it. Especially if there's 2 people posting claims, but everybody else sees it the right way. We see it the right way. So we'll be the ones to say, who got a piece if there is a close call, because they do happen when we do claim shows in the chat. It's not the best way to do it, but it does work. If anybody has any questions, I guess ask now. But you're absolutely right, Matt. So and the thing is, you can claim something anytime. A lot of people like to look at all the artwork and then make their decision afterwards. So if we're on like lot 15 and you said, all right, I've seen enough, I'm going to claim lot 1, go for it. That's fine. You don't have to be claiming the piece that's on the screen when we're showing it.
Yep.
So, all right.
And last but not least, that just came to me. It's the first time that we do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
We never do a live sale our entire working life, which is pretty long now, and it's the first time. I'm curious.
I wanted it to be claims in the chat because as a viewer, and I watch these with Bill with the Bill hosting them all the time. It's always so much fun when the claims are done in the chat because everybody's very in tune. Even when they're the email ones, in my opinion, people are asking like, "Did you get my email? Did it get in? Did it get in?" So I just figured to have the claims happen in the chat, and then also, as Bill said, is let everybody see what they want to see. And if something isn't claimed by the end of the show and you're thinking about it, please send an email over to Bill. Let us know and he'll get you in touch with us. And, if you need some time to think about it, something that doesn't, get sold and you want to process it for the weekend or whatever it is, reach out to Bill and he'll get it over to us.
Correct. Yeah. We did a show with Howard Chaykin last Saturday.
Yeah. It was a great show.
Yeah. It was. And he brought 15 pieces and during the show we sold 5. But after by the end of the day Sunday, everything was sold because I sent out a mailing Sunday afternoon showing the pieces didn't sell. People watched the show on the rewind, and and so Howard was a little he was like, well, that didn't go like the last show. I'm like, well, we'll see. Trust me, the pieces are good. They're something will happen, and sure enough, by the end of the day Sunday, so that's just how it works. So people who are watching this not live have the opportunity to buy artwork too. You just need to reach out to us and ask. And we'll, my email is easy, bill@comicartfans.com. And I know, Gloria, you guys, where is it? You've got the art at SimoneBianchi.com as well. So, questions after the show can go to either of those addresses and, we can definitely let you know if things are available after the show too. All right. Now I think we've addressed all of the potential questions here with related to claims and things. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and show you the 20 lots that we have available. And I'm sure there's a little bit of story, that goes into all of these. And I did want to say they're not ordered the way they are. They're grouped. Matt kind of gave them to me grouped kind of by theme. So, versus like high to low in price. So, there's just sometimes we do it different ways, but that's how these things are done today. So I know we're starting off with a couple character designs. So this is lot 1, and it's priced at $550. It's on a 11 by 17, and Ezra official character design. So what was this for, Simone?
This one was from the story that I did with Mark Millar for Netflix and Image, and Sharkey the Bounty Hunter, and this is one of the main character of the story. And this is the first idea that Mark had in mind, and then we change, and she can turn herself not into this beast that you can see on the piece, but in a different shape, in a different form. But that was the original Mark Millar idea, and that's the first creation I came up with when we first start working on Sharkey the Bounty Hunter storyline. So this is the very first appearance of her. We kept her the way you can see her when she's a regular female character, with this kind of wings, like Thor wings on her helmet, and this long dress with some kind of Celtic runes decorating the whole dress. So that is Ezra.
So when you work with Mark Millar, does he kind of give you freedom to design the characters themselves? Does he give you pointers or thoughts that he has about the character, and then just turn it over to you? How does that work with him?
Now, there was the main character, the two main characters, Sharkey and Billy. They were designed already by somebody else. But and one more character, they were designed, but this Ezra and two more characters, I came up with my own idea, and Mark just gave me some hints, and that was it. Like, I was like total freedom. But the main two characters, they were designed by some other artist.
Got it. Well, this is lot one, so as everybody can tell, we're going to be doing some Sharkey the Bounty Hunter art. Start things off. I think the first 6 lots are related to that, but we do have another character design here as well. So lot number 2, priced at $550. Big H.
Yes, Big H was designed already from the same artist. I just came up with my own version, and these are color pencil underneath, which I usually use that color pencil just to lay out the composition of the page, and on top of the color pencil, in this particular page, it's a turquoise pencil. I usually go over the color pencil and redefine every single details of the character with a regular HB gray pencil. And especially in this character design, I tend to leave some of the original pencil untouched and not covered by the gray pencil, because I like like the spontaneity of the very first pencil line, the very first pencil stroke on the piece of paper. So that's why you see sometimes some parts of the drawing is just the very first line that I put down on the paper, and that was it, to keep like the freshness of what I was doing. And you can see here, I think if we go back to the first character design, it's the same thing. I mean, yeah, see the creature or the dress of Ezra, that was just the very first color pencil drawing. And I just, the only thing that I finished redefining with HB gray pencil was just the head of the monster creature, whatever you want to call it, and the head of the character Ezra herself.
Yeah, I think on lot 2, the design for Big H, I just love the turquoise pencil with the white, it pops, but I really love all the pencil hatchwork on his head on the right image, the detail. And if you read Sharkey, Big H is just a really cool character, and I just love the different perspectives that Simone has in the background, from the front facing to the profiles to the full body with the angles. I just think it's like we spoke about earlier, it's the process of how Big H came to life and became published in the book. So it's a really cool piece. It's a true character design.
Also, in this one, the fur on top of Big H jacket is acrylic. So it's just white acrylic with different layers, and that's how I got the final effect of the fur on the character's jacket. So that I mean, it's just color pencil, HB regular gray pencil, and white acrylic on top of that.
That's very nice. And again, it's back to process. A lot of people really appreciate getting to see pieces like this, just to see your work. I mean, it's not often you see that using the horizontal lines when you're trying to do different perspectives on characters that kind of match everything up. I think it's cool. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy seeing. And,
I really like this one. This one's cool. Very cool.
So let's see. Now we have some published pages from Sharkey the Bounty Hunter. These first few are going to be from issue 1. This is page 8 from that issue on 11x17, priced at $800. I mean, this is fun. I feel a little Mobius when I look at the line work and
yes,
this,
for sure.
This is actually one of my favorite pages from the whole story. It was 6 issues, 6 full issues, 22 to 25 pages per issue. And this is from issue number 1, page 8, and this is actually one of the page that I like the most from the entire story. And it's color pencil underneath and regular ink, pen ink on top of that, and that's it. I mean, it's just no ink wash, not nothing, but I like that it was like pre-sunglasses Sharkey. Yeah, and it's it's like a regular black and white page. And on a side note, I actually colored the whole first 2 issues myself. So I wanted to go for a very cleaner black and white effect, because he would have helped me much better when it would have come the time to color the page. So I didn't have to go crazy with all the ink wash, because ink washes can be very tricky to handle with when it comes down to color the page, and you have to understand how to handle and to use the ink washes that are actually on the actual original page, and which direction exactly taking when it comes down to digital coloring. So that's why I did this first issue. It's mainly like this, just black and like regular pencil and black and white, and regular ink on top of the regular pencil. And I'm really glad that you brought up Moebius, because it was and is still one of my biggest influence ever. I do think Moebius has been quite possibly the best comic book artist that the world ever seen in the entire history of this medium so far. So yeah, it is, and it was and still is a huge influence on my own artwork.
Yeah, no, this is a fantastic page. Gloria, I saw you like getting pages behind you. Were you actually, do you have some of the art here? I wasn't sure. That's one thing we didn't talk about before the show started.
Everything. So.
Oh, cool.
So this is the. So this is the last.
The actual page.
The actual page.
I mean, just the sheer amount of characters in that page, Simone, the layout. Just the
original age character design.
And Ezra.
And that's Ezra.
I also like that Ezra's horizontal. That's a very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, that I like to switch from vertical to horizontal as much as I can, because sometimes horizontal can give you a different mindset, a different direction that usually your brain wouldn't think of, just by changing the size and the size and the composition of the piece of paper that you have underneath your hands. It's gonna open up a lot of different thinking that you usually wouldn't have if you just working in a vertical format.
That's cool. And Otis mentions that they own several of your character designs, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Otis is a big prelim collector. That's actually one of the focuses of his collection. And it's back to, at OAX, it's like everybody has a different way of collecting. Some people are pencil sketch collectors. Some people are sketch card collectors. Some people are prelim collectors, painted collectors. And what OAX is bringing to the table is a melting pot of artists of all of that. So it's really cool with the difference, of artists that are coming in for this show. And I always like seeing other people's collections and finding out how they collect and, what way they go and how they determine what they add to their collection. So very cool. And I think today we have pieces of all different kinds. We have character designs, published pages, illustrations, pencils, paintings. So I hope that there's something for everybody that's in the chat as far as collecting goes.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's take a look at the fourth lot here. This is again from Sharkey. This is issue 1, page 9. So the page after the one we just saw. This one's priced at $700 and 11 by 17 like the last one.
Yeah, it's sequential. It's like the page right after the one we just saw, and this is it's just full pencil. I use color pencil underneath to sketch the whole thing, to lay the whole thing down, and then I use HB regular gray tones pencil to define all the birds and all the details. So the only thing inked right now is the back of the head of this alien, right, standing in front of Sharkey at the cashier or the bar, whatever that thing is. But all the rest of the page is just 100% colored pencil underneath and gray HB regular gray pencil on top of that. So it's different than page number 8, which was 100% black and white and regular ink, like, in a much more traditional way. But still, I was able to use this pencil as a perfect base for what I was going to do with coloring, because what I was doing with this pencil, I was scanning the pencil and I was changing the curves of the pencil, basically turning the gray of the pencil into black and white, enhancing the contrast between whites and the gray and darken the grays. I was able to get a final black and white feeling, of which I was able to color on top of with, final digital coloring, pretty much the same way I was doing with regular ink page. So if you see at Sharkey the Bounty Hunter issue number 1, you will see like almost split in 50. Half of the pages were like full pencil like this, turned into some kind of digital inking, and half of the pages were just black and white regular inks, like traditional inks.
Well, I love the composition on this page, and I like the fact that just that one character is inked on it. It's cool.
Well, and what the last panel does there with the darkness and the, of that one character that is inked, it really lightens up. It really makes the other panels pop, which makes it look really cool. And I love the character in between her, tentacle, like the perspective of the characters here. It's very cool. I love it.
You know what? I didn't remember that. And now that I see it on the screen, it's, I like that. It's funny. It's this little dwarfy character. Maybe it's from Rome. I'm not sure. And it's popping out from the circle or the oval made by the tentacle of the character in the foreground. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up.
And
All right, well, I can sense that. Oh yeah, here, let me hide this because I see Gloria's got the art there too. There we go.
Yeah, that last panel is really cool. I like that.
I think you're going to do just fine at that workshop, Simone. I think you've got that educator, approach to talking about your art. I think people are really
yeah, but trust me, it's going to be much more technical, much more deeper when it comes down to the workshop. It's going to be straight from starting from scratch, from the fundamental of drawing and painting. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be fun.
I have a feeling.
Hopefully.
Well, hopefully Matt does a good job filming it. So here's yeah, well, he'll sharpen his skills there. But so we've got lot 5 here, same price, $700 on this one, same issue, issue 1 from Sharkey. This is page 22 on 11 by 17 as well. And is there a little bit of ink in the jacket in that?
No, this is actually, I got the page right here. Okay.
Oh, here, let me go.
This is actually 100% full inked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is like there's just a little. If you see right here,
your inking is so fine. I mean,
yeah,
that's amazing.
Underneath her glasses is just pencil, but all the rest of the page it's full inked. And but again, I mean, Matt was and Gloria, they were so right then when they were saying it's so different from the screen. And what I'm seeing right now in front of the actual page, it looks just like two completely different things. And it's full inked. Getting back to your question, it's just 100% full inked. And it's a nice twist that I don't want to ruin if you guys didn't read the story yet. So this, come si dice sposa?
Bride.
This bride is gonna have a huge surprise right the page after this one that we're looking at. Yes, sure. And this Gloria is trying to show you the final color page that I colored myself in digital. And
I mean, the detail on her dress is just unbelievable. I mean, the amount of work that had to go in just to the dress for the fine lines is just, it's immaculate. It's really, really cool.
Non si capisce.
Yeah.
Ce l'ho fatta.
Yeah.
Hey, Marty, shipping is included in the price of the artworks today. So yes, that is true. Payments will be done by PayPal, but shipping is included with the art. So buy 1 or buy 2, it's all included in the overall price of the pieces. But going back to that slide just one more time before we switch it, it's just amazing that the width of the line in here. That's why I thought it was all mostly penciled, because there's it's such a consistent line work that's not easy to do. And you've I mean, this is I'm just surprised. I mean, I can still see a little bit of pencil in there, right? But I mean, if most of this is ink, that's incredible.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of shading done in pencil on the bride skirt, a little bit on the bride bust, a little bit too, but all the rest of the cross hatching and details on the guy's head, that is like 100% full inked. Yeah.
Right,
I actually haven't seen these pages in a long time, because I drew this story 2019, so I haven't seen these pages in a long time.
Well, we got one more, and this is actually from issue 2.
Oh, I love this. This one is an homage to Vincent van Gogh in the last page, in the last panel.
I love it. I mean, and this is one where when I look at this, I think of, the whatever the separation is between you doing pencil work and painting. I mean, you kind of see everything in the same way. You're drawing it, and I'm sure you're approaching it in a way that you know how you're going to be coloring it later. I just love the approach to this piece. I look like the back of his hat. What you choose to draw and what you leave out is because you know how you're going to end up coloring it later. And I love this piece a lot.
Well said. Again, as you can see, Bill, it's just, especially the last panel, the background with the Van Goghish moons, it's so pencil, but Sharkey himself in the last panel is full ink, and it's just black and white. And it was, as you said, I knew that I was gonna fill up all those areas with digital coloring. So he was gonna make my life so much easier doing, pages this way. Yeah, sure. Oh, and this is the, if you can see it, it's the final result. Yeah. Wow, that was a lot of work.
You're just remembering how much work you did on these interiors. Yeah, this page is awesome. I really like this one a lot. The bottom panel is just super, super cool. I mean, it really makes the whole page. It's great.
That was a lot of work, but it was fun. It was fun. And if you can't see the actual comic book, you really cannot realize where the panel are pencil and where the panels are inked. Because again, I was using this kind of very tight penciling. Oh, I'm sorry. This very tight penciling, and then I was processing the penciling with digital, and I was just enhancing contrast. And if you see the actual final page, you wouldn't notice the difference between pencil panels and full 100% ink panels. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's a bit of fun going back to work that you haven't seen in 4 years, right? I mean, Gloria, what do you you hide the work, the originals? So
I can show it to you again.
You hide the work.
No. I think it's always funny too when Simone goes back and looks at this because he hasn't seen him in a while, and he's like, man, I love the way this turned out, or I love the way that. And I like even when I'm at a convention or with him and somebody brings up a piece that they've owned and they bring it back. It's always cool to see an artist reunite or re-see a piece again, because you can see that they're involved in it. They really enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great page. Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you.
Simone's just diving back into the book.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Simone's re-impressed with himself again from 4 years ago. He's like, wow, this was great.
It's not too shabby.
Not too shabby for sure.
It's not too shabby.
All right. Well, the Sharkey pieces are still available, obviously. So we'll keep moving along. We got lot number 7 coming up here, and this is something different. We're moving into a couple of heavy metal related covers here. So the first one, this is lot 7. From Sun Eater 3. This is priced at $3,800. It's on 16 by 21.5, and yeah, it's gorgeous. I just love this. It's got everything in one of your artwork, Simone, that you'd want. I mean, just great action. A very interesting color palette, which I think just kind of helps define your work in a lot of ways. I mean, because these are colors you just don't see in comics. That almost turquoise green with the orange and the hair. I mean, it's a wonderful piece. And then you get the flesh tones that are tattooed. I mean, I love this piece.
Yeah, this is like 100% full acrylic. I did this course for Sun Eater for heavy metal back in 2020. Yes, and they were really great. The characters, they had an amazing design, and I had a lot of fun playing with those characters. as you were mentioning, Bill, this crazy contrast with orange hair. And if you can see it on the female characters, she has like purple tattoos on top of that. So it was a very interesting mixed palette to define the different characters. And yeah, and it's like, again, I think that there's no preliminary. Oh, no, there is one preliminary, and then again I light box everything and paint over it. So the original preliminary pencil, it's much smaller as usual, and finally it's 16 by 21.5. And I have to say this scan does a pretty nice justice to the final piece. It's pretty close to the way it looks like in person right here in the studio. And again, I wasn't looking at these pieces in a long time. So I started like about 10 days ago to go through the portfolios, and every now and then it's good because I'm usually never look back to what I did in the past. I'm always trying to project my mind on what it's coming next. And I don't want to get stuck in what I did in the past. Never. But every now and then, for a change, it's nice to go back and see what I did, in a different time, different approach, different mood. Again, the mood, he has so much to do with the final result of especially with the paintings. And every time I look back at my paintings, and I just got back in that moment of time and the way I was feeling when I was painting that piece. It's just a very unique feeling that it's impossible to describe if you're not a painter, or like it's weird. You look at that piece and you're right back at the time when you were painting it, which is, again, was the end of 2020 or the beginning of. No, that was the end of 2020, I guess. Yeah.
I think the bow on this one is just what really does it for me. The bow and arrow, because the lines that are used for the strings could have very easily gotten lost. But the color he chose and the thinness of the lines, but the color to make them pop is just awesome for the bowstrings. And I love the way that the bow looks like it's like actually carved. It's just the overall composition of the piece is great. Oh, I just saw Khosra too. And then I was going to say the saturations of the colors is unbelievable. And, it's a published cover from Heavy Metal for Sun Eater #3. It's a beautiful piece for sure.
Yeah, Sun Eater 3. Okay.
Well, we have a cover to Sun Eater 2 as well. And
yes.
Same size, same price. Wow. I love that. The tongue hanging out. It's a great image, and it's your lighting on this thing is great because it's overall a sort of dark piece, right? But
yes, yeah. It's supposed to be a night scene. Yeah, scene in the night. And it's 100% full acrylic. That is actually the first one that I did for Sun Eater and for Heavy Metal. And yeah, and again, I mean, I would go back to point how cool these character designs were, because it was such a different direction from my usual work with like Marvel or Matt. It reminds me of Jarvis.
Well, Jarvis is that big.
Yeah, true.
Large.
And but it was such a different feeling, compared to my usual work with regular superheroes, and a different vibe. It was really, really funny. It was really a lot of fun to play with these characters and to play with such a different palette for every single cover. I did only 3, but yeah, they were extremely nice, cool character. There was definitely a great character design work behind this.
Yeah,
Very nice.
The teeth on the wolf is just crazy. And Gloria, if you hold it up again, the guy in the background, I actually just noticed him for the first time. He's got like a jester mask on, playing like a mandolin. That guy's crazy.
Yes.
Like a mage or something. That guy looks crazy.
And don't ask me about the background story, because I actually don't know or don't remember anything about the characters.
That is really
But
cool.
I remember when I saw this guy playing the mandolin, because I had to pick up pretty much every character that I wanted to play with. I look at this guy and say, wow, this guy he's got this kind of a Mexican mask, and then a sombrero, some kind of hat. And I mean, it's so different than my usual superhero work. And that's why, yeah, it was so fun to work with to play with these characters. Yeah, it's playing a mandolin, wearing a mask on top of a tree in a forest with a giant wolf and a knight with a sword in flames. And that was some crazy ideas.
Well, I like the one of the things, the quality of your work is that it has like your line work has sort of like an engraved feeling, chiseled. And that comes through in just the pencil and ink pieces and in the painted pieces. That you kind of float between that more chiseled feeling to areas that are soft, and it all works together. I don't want to analyze the artwork too much here, but
no.
But that's part of what I really appreciate in your work is that it has that, because my degree was in sculpture, so I really like seeing things that have a harder edge to them, and your work really does. As subtle and soft as certain areas are in it, you are very direct and not leaving anything to our imagination. It's there. You're very and I think I love that. I love that, especially in a painter, because painters don't you can kind of like flow into an area where you're kind of being a little bit more suggestive of things, and you don't. Your work is really just well defined, and it's what separates your work from other painters in comics today.
I can't thank you enough.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to do something a little different here. We're kind of moving out of those, and now we're going to go to lot 9 is a Justice League piece. So now we got some DC coming into the pieces we're going to look at. This is lot 9. It's priced at $1,950. It's 12.5 by 10. Looks like probably on a Bristol board. Was this a prelim to something? Yes.
This is again color pencil underneath and HB gray pencil on top of that, and a little bit of ink too on Superman face and Green Lantern. And it's a preliminary pencil I did for a piece, a full painted piece, much bigger. I mean, the final piece was much bigger. And it was done for an exhibition in Switzerland, which I had Duanifa 2 years ago. Oh, no, about 1.5 years ago. It was spring 2022. And the final piece, it's still at the gallery, and it's much bigger, of course. And you got pretty much every DC characters you can think of. It's Batman in the foreground, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Trinity, and then another character that I absolutely love is Hawkman. And I never had the chance to draw him. So it's Hawkman. Right here, Hawkgirl right here, Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, and who else? Zatanna, Cyborg, and Manhunter in the very background. Green Arrow too, yeah.
Wonder Woman. I mean, this is like the cast of the cast for the Justice League, man. This is a cool piece, and I love the horizontal. I love the horizontal landscape perspective of everybody coming at you.
Yeah, this is really, really nice. You know, I'll go back to the full screen image here one more time.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And again, you get to see a lot of the process there. You know, you kind of laying, especially you look at Batman, you can see, you know, you're working through, you know, the pose with that,
Yeah.
you know, with a red Conti or something potentially, and then going in with the pencil to define the shapes and everything. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I love using color pencil underneath because it gives me the perfect direction which I want to follow. Oh, now that I think and I look at it on the screen, also Batman, he's got some ink in the external lines. The whole profile of the characters is ink, and a little bit of his mask is ink, so is ink too. But again, I mean, the color pencil not only gives me the chance to go exactly where I wanted to go, but it also gives the whole piece a different vibe, because it's one thing if you have just like regular gray tones and a regular gray pencil, but when you start mixing, you know, like color pencil, I usually always use only one tone pencil. Like it's usually 100% all warm colors or 100% all cold colors. If you look back at the other pieces as well, you know, I never mix cold and warm color pencil to do the underline and to do something that I have to go over with the gray pencil. But if you look at this piece closely, you can see Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. They are all the three of them, and Flash too. They are in full reddish brown. Then, if you look in the background and you start looking at Cyborg, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Zatanna, and Martian Manhunter, they are all orange and a little bit of yellowish green. But in the end of the day, it's all colors that they band together. They just match each other very well. And then, of course, when you lay down all the pencil, the gray pencil, it tends to reunite all the different tones that you have in the underline drawing, in the first step of the drawing.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Spidey Hit. So you did an interview with, I think, a month ago when you were in the States. Wanted to thank us all for having another, having you the opportunity to put you on the show again, because I watched a lot of the interview that they did with you before. That was very well done as well. So thank you, Spidey Hits. I mean, we follow each other on the YouTube channel, so thank you for that. And yeah, no, it's great. I love that piece. I mean, it's fantastic. And we're going to stick with DC a little bit here too. We have Matt.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, that's right.
Friend, close friend to me, Gloria and Matt too, who owns a JLA piece that I did way back in, like, I don't know, years, as Chris is saying, like years ago for Upperdeck. Yeah, this is just a different, like an update to these days.
Mm-hmm. I know Chris's collection. So next up we have a Batman. So I think this is probably the last
piece. Is just awesome.
Yeah,
this is so cool, man.
It's gorgeous. So this is on 11.5 by 16.5, priced at $2,600. But yeah, it's phenomenal.
I'm sorry.
I love the pencil work in the mask. I mean, it's just, again, it's back to that, you have like an etching kind of quality, you know, like printmaking, the way you kind of handle your lines in pencil and ink and paint, and it really shines here. I mean, just the way you know, I just love the whole technique on this piece.
Thank you. So a little bit of a story behind this piece. I love to mix two elements that are often not think together, which is close-ups and very detailed backgrounds in the behind. Because usually when you think of a close-up, you think to a close-up and that's it, or you have just some hint of a background. Whereas I love to mix the two things with a very detailed and redefined close-up, and at the same time a very as well redefined and detailed background. So in this case, you have Batman and his right fist in the very first foreground, and then in the background, instead of having like, you know, something loose or undefined, you have like the church and the skyscraper. It's just a full piece. This was actually a pencil, a preliminary pencil for another piece that I finished last year for Luca Comic Convention. But because of this show, I actually pick up this piece and I finish, change something, re-inked something in the background, and add some ink wash and acrylic, as you can clearly see in the logo on Batman's chest, in his cape, and in around his eyes as well. So I didn't, you know, this piece looked much more different about a week ago. Gloria, am I right or am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, when I saw this last time I was there, this is not just finished. This is like completely retooled. This piece came to life. What you've done in the past, you know, week. The acrylics, the hatching on the back of the cape or the cowl that's going back. I mean, the detail on the church and the buildings. I mean, this piece is, I'm not a DC guy. That's my, you know, my only rule. I don't collect Batman, but man, this piece is a stunner. Like it's given me thoughts to maybe buy a Batman piece now. This is so cool.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Let's see here. Swing the camera like that. There we go. But yeah, no, that was the one I had to look at for a little while, just because I love the extra work in it. And it's cool that you've gone into a couple of these pieces, like we're going to see in that Thor piece, and work.
Actually, Bill, I did 2 on purpose for this show.
We're gonna well,
yes, you're gonna show it later on, but those 2, they were not existing like 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to give you something special and something exclusive for the show. The same way I did for my exhibition in Livorno, I drew and painted some pieces exclusively for the exhibition, which means people can see those pieces only at the exhibition in person. And same goes here for these 2 pieces that we are gonna be shown soon, I guess. But you know, every time I do something that I think it's worth the time and the effort, I always try. That's why I can't take a lot of commissions. I always trying to give people something never seen before, completely unseen and brand new for the occasion. You know, being a museum exhibition or a live sale like this, it feels. I want people to realize, you know, how important it's for me when it comes down to do something like this, to show something that it was not existing before the show itself.
Well, I am honored. I really wasn't sure what we were going to have.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
Well, thank you.
You're very
I
welcome.
appreciate
Thank
that. Well, let's get on. I want to, because I think I know which pieces they are, but you'll have to let me know when we get to them.
Okay.
We're switching over to Marvel, I think, for the rest of the artworks that we're looking at. And we're skipping over lot 11 because that was the one that was pulled. So this is lot 12. It's priced at $800. It's a Spider-Man bust, obviously on 7x10. I mean, this is something, I think I saw a few of these, were done at, maybe this size or style at MegaCon too. So it's kind of a similar
Yes. Vibe.
something that, yeah, exactly, that you would do at a show. So this is great. I mean, again, it's got all the great things that I relate to when I think about your work. The choice of color. I mean, look at, you're not doing a flat red here, in Spidey's costume. You've got oranges and practically some pale pinks and things going on in here. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's watercolor underneath, and it's ink on top of that, and color pens on top of the ink. So yeah, I think, yeah, I did Matt, I did this at Orlando, right?
No, you did this in the studio after Orlando, before COVID. Oh, Anthony with the claim here, and then I actually have this one, guys. Bill, if you want, I have the.
Oh, you have that one? Okay,
I do my best to be Gloria. I don't know if I'll.
Let's see. No, you're not going to do as good a job.
No, I'll screw it up for sure. But yeah, it's a really beautiful piece. I love the deckled edges. I just think it's a really cool piece. So congrats, Anthony. Be in touch for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I was going to say,
Orlando.
Is that the case? You did it after Orlando?
Correct.
Okay. Well, Anthony, you got a very good one there. I was presumed you meant 12 when I highlighted that, and then I
think he meant 12.
Yes, he meant 12. Definitely.
Okay.
Right, because
we go with
Sunny.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. We sincerely appreciate that. So we'll move right along to the next pieces. We got a couple published pieces coming up here next. Let me hide that.
Thanos Rising.
Oh, these are hard to come by too. These are awesome.
So this is lot 13. It's lot 11 by 17. It's from Thanos Rising, issue 1, page 15, priced at $700. So
it's from issue. Yeah, it's issue number 1. Wow. Okay, it's true.
So what year was Thanos Rising? Do you guys know? Because I didn't research.
2013.
So we got 10 years old. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, 2013. And this is like 100%, as you can see, full ink. Ink and cross etching, no ink wash. I use a little bit of ink wash in Thanos Rising in some other pages, but issue number 1 was mainly black and white. And I actually like panel number 2 the best, because I mean, it's just Thanos' eye in the middle of a lot of rocks, but it's just, like in the very foreground you have this black silhouetted rocks, and then you have like just regular black lines that defines volumes until where he is like pushing away a little rock just to reveal his right eye and to look inside the rocks. So yeah, panel number 2 is the one I definitely like the most. And I have to say, I like panel number 1, 2, 3, 4 too. Thanos profile. He was quite a challenge because everybody thinks of Thanos like the big, villain. So reimagine him as a kid. It was a big challenge.
Nick, great claim, because this page is awesome. And I think, Simone, what you were just talking about, young Thanos, the way you drew him, everybody thinks of him as the Mad Titan that's, bigger than everybody else, and how he was as an adolescent, how you made him look. The design of him is very, very cool. And if you haven't had a chance, I know it's from 2013, but if you haven't read Thanos Rising, as Otis, I think, just put up there, yeah, it's one of the better origin stories. And it's a good look inside of, young Thanos and how he became, who he is today. And the way Simone brought him to life on these panels and in this story is really great. Just great stuff all around.
Yeah, it's a great page. And thank you, Nick Barucci, for picking that up. It's, yeah, you got a good one. Let's see here. So we have one more published page here next, and this is from Wolverine issue 313. This one's priced at $800. It's lot 14 on 11 by 16, and I love the panel layout on this. It's reminiscent of a lot of the tropes, I guess, that like McFarlane and Spidey used, those tall vertical panels. But this suits this fight scene so well. I love it. I wasn't sure how to crop it to give that image above the description, because there was just so much action from top to bottom in this page that it was marvelous to see. I love this piece.
Bill, you got the back end here. We had a lot of claimers. What's the proper order here?
I was actually not looking at the chat while I was talking about
no problem.
So it is William Lawson who came in ahead of Paul, Malcolm, Jay Morgan, and Nick.
William.
We haven't seen you in a long time in person. I can't wait to see you again. So you got 5 claim on this page. Okay.
A lot of people like Wolverine. See,
yes,
exactly.
Alone is amazing.
It is. I mean, that first panel is unbelievable. I mean, this is a great page. And you did you guys have that one that you can show? Because I was just kind of curious to see it too. Sorry,
So, I didn't. It was 2012. Yes, that was my first son was born.
The Bianchi brother, absolutely. Yeah, this page is so cool.
I love it. Man, it's fantastic, Simone. It's a gorgeous page. Wow.
I'm blushing right now. You can't see me, but I'm blushing.
Well, Will got a great page there. That's a good one. I know we have a lot of Marvel fans in the audience. I wasn't surprised that those 2 published pages went, because that's fantastic. And again, Wolverine, your favorite character. I mean, you're always gonna, whether you're thinking it or not, I'm sure there's a little extra oomph that goes into the work that you're doing on a character that you love like that.
I just love him to death, and I think it shows. Every time I paint and I draw him, every time I find out something more or something different. And it's weird. After all these years, every time I find a better way to define every single detail or the shape of his anatomy. I mean, it's just the way I love it. I love it. I don't love Wolverine as much as I love Matt or Gloria.
Simone, I did just see a question from Human Spider.
Gloria doesn't care about my jokes anymore. She goes like,
Gloria.
He's working.
What I think Simone does great is he does Wolverine in the costume, right? Everybody's very much used to. But one of my personal favorites, and I saw this question from Human Spiders, what form of Wolverine's your favorite to do? I love when Simone does Logan, like the feral, really scruffy beard, and then this transitions right in. But then he even goes to another level when he gets to do Victor, when he gets to do Sabretooth, and you get to see what the feral lupine really looks like. I think sometimes it's lost, that Wolverine and Sabretooth, they're feral animals at the beginning, and then they come to be, towards humanity as things go on. But Simone's take on that, to me, is very awesome. So Simone, do you prefer the blue and yellow Wolverine suit, the X-Force black and gray Logan? What's your...
I love Weapon X Wolverine, which is basically Logan with a lot of hair and naked with a lot of high-tech wires going around him. But I love them all. I love the yellow and brown costume. I love the costume I designed myself in
Well, of
2008
course, from Ghostbox.
X on his heart. I mean, there's actually a version of his costume that I think it sucks and I can't stand it, but I won't reveal.
Well, that's probably better. But I was hoping you were going to say Weapon X, honestly, because I think it just makes the most sense because it has some machinery. It's got a feral Wolverine hair, things that you draw, and render really, really well. So in my mind, that was going to be the answer, and I'm glad I was right. I did see T-Tad came in late with a claim. So T-Tad, and I'll just say this for everybody too in a claim show. If you're watching on YouTube, and I know T-Tad is, there's a live button in the lower left-hand corner. So you could be a minute or 30 seconds behind us. Some people can. There's two ways to correct that. You either click the live button, it'll move you as close to live as possible. And the other option is you just hit refresh on your browser, and that should get you close. Because sometimes, your internet slows down, it buffers a little bit, and you might be 10 or 15 seconds behind the rest of the audience. And, I should always have a reminder at the beginning of a sale to tell people that. But it does happen. So just something that everybody in the audience, if you're here to buy today or interested in buying, I would say click the live button. You'll definitely be as close to live as possible with the rest of your viewers. Okay, well, we'll move over to it's an unpublished piece, but it's a prelim. It's a prelim to something we're going to see the finished piece of in a little bit. This is lot 15. The Thor standing pencil piece. It's on 11.5 by 17.5. It's priced at $1,625. And again, this is one of the pieces I was talking about earlier, when it's great to see the process, right? You're kind of working out both the composition, the musculature, the character, the pose, and then you add in little, you're tightening it up in other spots. But these are fun. I mean, I think these just tell a lot about you as a creator. And it's great when you can show this with the final piece, which we will be showing later in the show, the painted piece.
Can I say something about this piece?
Yes, please.
I love it.
Yeah, this is strong, man. This is cool. I mean,
it's just the pencil. I know I'm not supposed to say for myself, but who gives? I said, I love it because it's like the pencil is alive. If you would see this in person, it's just, it's vibrating. That's the word I was looking for. It's just vibrating. It's just, it's like then in the final version, I slightly changed some proportion and something in the legs. So it's not the final piece is not gonna look exactly like this. But I like it. It was there for a long time, and it was one of those pencil that I always wanted to finish and do a proper final painting because I like the pencil a lot. So yeah.
So I'm assuming the painted piece is one that was done here. I'll switch over to Gloria since she is showing off the artwork here. There we go.
Yeah, this piece is beautiful. I mean, it's very strong.
Yeah, no, it is gorgeous, and I love the red pencil on it too. It's not it's something that stands Simone's work out from many other people that work. Typically it'd be a blue pencil, right? So just like when we were looking at the JLA piece that he did earlier with the yellows and the warm pencils in it, and it's just unique with his approach to handling these prelim pieces or the things that he's just doing for fun, right? Which it sounds like that piece was done just for his because he wanted to, and then we're going to see the finished product in a little bit as well. So,
and Bill, for you, when you being a Thor collector, are you more of the? I think there's like the pretty boy Thor with the long golden locks, and But for me, I always thought of Thor as just, he's a Nordic Viking demigod. I mean, he's supposed to be just like this big, huge, and I love Simone's take on it. I love the way, you know, the hammer looks in his hand, his musculature, a lot of Simone stuff when he did Thor for Asgard. He did a lot of like fur on the inside of Thor's armor, you know, like time period stuff. So I think just, you know, even the different takes on Thor, you know, throughout the years of how it's looked. I love the way Simone makes him look like a Viking warrior. You know, he just is very strong.
Right.
Big guy.
Well, I definitely like Simone's you know, approach, but I mean, when I do think of Thor, I do think of like the John Buscema years, you know, more of the clean costume, just because that's what I grew up on. But I definitely, you know, well, I love the painting that we're going to show later, of course, but you know, I like them all. There's you know, I didn't like the red leather jacket version of Thor, you know, in Love and Thunder. That was never one of my popular ones. I didn't like the one that, you know, where his helmet covered his face. You know, the you know, different versions of the costume weren't really didn't do it for me. But you know, it's Thor at the end of the day. And Ilya makes a good point here too, that Bern Hogarth did many of his anatomy studies in red as well with absolutely, that's a very good point. And so again, you think about it, masters of anatomy and illustration, Hogarth was one of those people. And again, that's something that I'm sure it's not intentional, but that kind of carries over when you're seeing the prelims, you know, that you see Simone put together, because it's just not what we usually would be getting. Yes. And so sorry, just reading.
Phil is a demigod.
Thank you, Kaz. I appreciate that. All right, so let's keep it rolling here, because we have another Thor, as a matter of fact. And let's see, this is lot 16. So this is this is all done in halftones too. It's painted. It's what is it, 12 by 16, and this one is priced at $3,150. And again, just gorgeous piece. Yeah, and you know, this is like, does a piece like this challenge you, Simone, when you're going into it, to think that you're gonna not paint in color, you're just gonna paint in halftones to come up with something like this? Because there's no 100% black here, and there's certainly no white on this page either. I mean, if I would get so daunted at the thought of trying to make a work of art like this that I wouldn't even start. But here it is.
No, it's true that there is no absolute black, as well. It's true there is actually an absolute white within the thunder. So yes, the inside of the thunder itself, it's pure white, 100% pure white. I mean, this is full ink and ink wash. And I did this as a preliminary for a final bigger piece I did for my Marvel Masterpieces set, which I did back then in 2018 for those fine guys at Upperdeck. So I see a lot of these collectors are also Marvel card collectors. So again, yeah, Gloria, she's got the original right now.
Yeah, let me switch over to that.
To get that effect of the lightning on a tones piece like this, not digital, is just very impressive. I mean, that the thunder on this piece just makes the whole thing pop. The shadow over his eyes. You know, I think Cosper put in the comments, you know, Simone makes value look easy. The values on this piece, to not get lost in the background with the buildings and, you know, Thor in the foreground, and it being tied to Marvel Masterpiece 2018. This is just an absolutely striking piece.
Oh yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, the reflection of the strike on his torso is, but it's not 100% white. He's white out underneath, and then I went over with a turquoise color pencil, so it's a very, very light turquoise on his right arm and the profile of his torso. So again, the only pure white are within the thunder. The inside of the thunder is pure white.
That's an amazing piece. Chris Nordine, where was that? He mentioned that Simone's early DC halftones ink wash was slight pops of color pieces are what first attracted him to your work, and it's absolutely fantastic stuff. I don't think we would disagree with that at all.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. You're way too nice as usual.
Oh man, now well, we got let's see, I won't even say it. I'll just show it, surprise everybody for a nice Spider-Man piece. It's a 9.5 by, so it's 9.5 tall by 16.5 wide, priced at $3,050, lot 17. I mean, look at this. This thing is fantastic. I mean, I even threw just a straight slide like this so you could just get it without my messy text on top of it. But great piece, man. This I love it. I love the lighting in it.
It's one of the 2 pieces I did on purpose. One of the 3 pieces that I did on purpose for the show. So yeah, this is like
congratulations, Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony got his claim in just ahead of Gabe. Wow. Yeah, you did this. This was one of the ones you did for the show. Thank you so much, Simone. I mean,
you're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
I see Gloria holding the art too. So let me swing back over to here so you guys can see this.
What a piece.
Wow.
Not too shabby, Simone.
Thank you. You're not too shabby yourself.
I think that's a compliment, Matt. I do think
that's my one and only half one for the day,
Yeah.
Hey, after
quick on the ciao Byron. Quick on the trigger. Congrats, Anthony. Quick on the trigger. That's a nice expression.
Yeah, I want to show it one more time just so everybody can see it. That is a gorgeous piece.
Thank you.
Simone, how did you attack the webbing on this one? Did you have the webbing in his hands from the beginning, like having him slinging himself forward in your mind, or was the webbing an addition to give it more?
No. It was right from the start. I did a very quick digital sketch of this. I remember the whole process, but even in the very first early initial sketch, he was swinging with webs in both his hands. Spidey, that's another character I love to draw because he brings me back to when I was a kid and I wanted to draw these characters, and boom, you flash forward 50 years, let's say 45 years later, and here I am doing it for real for Marvel. It's pretty it's just weird in a very positive way. I saw the Instagram video for this one, the way you hit the white pen to create. Yes, I hit the white Uniposca pen to spread the stars all over the background, and I had the Spider-Man mask with
you had the Spider-Man taped off, right? So
yeah, exactly. It was all masked and tape all around the rectangular window, whatever you want to call it. And the moon itself, it was full mask, so I can't like splash the Uniposca white pen all over without staining or getting Spider-Man dirty. So it's staying all clean up.
Simone, do you remember who did the videographer for the Instagram for this one? Because if it was Gloria or Barbara or Sebastian, I'm wondering, did they get any of the white acrylic on them? Because you were banging that thing pretty hard on the, I don't know, did paint go all over the studio, or did you keep it controlled?
L'hai fatto te questo video qui?
Mi sembra di no.
No, I don't think Gloria was. If it was not Gloria, it was Sebastian.
It sounded like Sebastian.
Yeah, because Barbara is not at the studio this week. She'll be back on Monday. So the only 2 affordable cameramen that I can afford is just Gloria and Sebastian. But Gloria, she works, as you know, in the studio in the morning, and she's not here in the afternoon. She works from home. So if it's afternoon, I have to go downstairs and beg my son Sebastian to come upstairs to take just a 2.5 minute video, and he would give me such an hard time. I'm playing my. But anyhow, at the end of the day, he's doing a good job. He's got a very good eye, and that was Sebastian, I guess. So this past 2 weeks, it's either Gloria or I have four cameramen, which is Gloria, Sebastian, Matt, and Barbara. And I won't say who is the best one.
I'm the worst one. I can learn from
Well,
Sebastian.
I was taking that for granted. It was
when you're at that workshop, Matt, you should definitely
you granted you're granted that. But yeah, that's it. I never asked my wife, actually. Maybe she's good too. I don't know. That was
congratulations, Anthony. What a story, man.
Absolutely. And thank you, Gabe, for trying. You're right behind him on that one. So we appreciate the attempt as well, because sometimes we do preview these pieces and you get to see them, like you said. Simone had it on Instagram, so a lot of people get to see what he's working on and what we're bringing to these shows, and it's exciting. So this other piece, I know this is one that you had some process shots, I think, on a few of your social platforms as well. This one is lot 18.
I'm sorry, then you keep explaining, but that's another one that I did on purpose for the show.
This is the debut.
This is awesome. So this is large too. It's 16 by 22. Fully, this is like cover quality work again, done in the the halftones, but it's just stunning. And it's this one's priced at $4,350, but I love it. Oh, and we do have a claim on this one.
And it's gone.
Jay Morgan. That does not surprise me. I love seeing. I know I saw it on Facebook, I think, where you showed kind of like the stages of this piece, and it was just great to kind of see it go from beginning to end. And Jay Morgan, you got a good one on this one. And here, I'll switch over to Gloria because she's got the art in hand.
Because I don't know if it's very large.
This piece is stunning. It's so powerful, man. It's so powerful. And
it's cover quality. If I had, I would have somebody or myself had in digital colors to this. This is just a cover.
You're right. I can see where the wording for Wolverine or X-Men would go at the top and how it would look on a book. It's beautiful. It's really, really cool. Is that just some type of like alien?
I'm sorry, Paul. I don't know how to pronounce his second name.
Brizgawi. I was gonna say for Paul, more than likely click that live link, or it's a button in the lower left, or just if you're on your desktop computer at home, just refresh the browser. It will move you as close to real time as possible. That's like I mentioned earlier, if you're just seconds behind on some of these pieces, anybody with a slightly faster internet connection who's closer to real time is going to have an advantage over those of you who don't, unfortunately. It is the nature of these claims, and everybody has to remember we're like 5 seconds in the future too. So we're ahead of all of you when we're showing stuff or talking about things. So we always have a funny delay.
So Simone, I know we get this question a lot from Human Spider, and I know I think I know the answer, but Simone will work on a sketch card, like a trading card. Does beautiful work, and then he'll go up to how big was the Spider-Man piece you did for the exhibition with the Sinister Six? What was that, 3 feet by 4 feet?
I don't know in feet. I can tell you in centimeters. It was 70 centimeters by 1 meter, which comes down to 34 inch by 48 inch.
Like bigger than a movie poster. And I think when Simone, feel free to chime in here, Simone. Like, it's what he's been working on. If he's in that medium and he's getting in a flow, he can, he can work on that for a while. And then when it goes to a bigger piece, he works on those. And the Spider-Man that he did for the exhibition in Livorno, it's massive. I mean, it's truly, truly huge. And then he does a sketch card that's, 2 by 2.5, and it's, still turns out absolutely stunning. So for him to be able to have that range from size, to grandiose, from, minuscule to grandiose, it's very impressive.
Thank you, Jay Morgan. Thank you so much. I'm glad the wait was worth. And yes, T-Ted, it's 2 by 3 feet roughly.
Yeah.
Ah, è Tariq. Non avevo capito. Tarek. Ciao, Tarek. 2 by 3 feet roughly. Yeah. Anyway, it's huge. The Spider-Man, and it's not finished. It's not finished at all.
It's never finished.
No.
Gloria.
That's Spider-Man.
Frazetta had a problem with that too, Simone. Remember, he was always like, if he could, he would have tinkered with stuff until the day he died. He was never happy. He was always Frazetta. Remember Frank Frazetta?
Yeah. He was right. I can understand him. I can totally understand that genius Frank, because they never finished. Because I can't see any of my work in a year or 2 years time and have it completely redoing it or repainted it from. I mean, there's so much that you can always improve and get better at. So
sure. Or you just see the flaws in it. I mean, there are printed paperback covers that Frazetta did the artwork for, that you can then see the original that's owned by a collector on CAF, and they're different paintings, because maybe there'll be a monster in the center and he'll just be like, and it gets published that way, and then he changes it to a beautiful female figure instead of a monster, or moves the female to a different spot, so that they don't look alike anymore. But that's the way Frank was. He was never content. I think the family had to wrestle things from him and put them on the wall, so he would, or sell them just so we'd stop working on it sometimes.
Before we go to the next one, Kazra has a great question here for Simone. So form, shape, modeling, hugely distinctive quality. Do you use reference 3D models ZBrush?
I think that's an interesting.
Occasionally, I use photograph reference, but lately, in the past 2 years, I think I used none, completely. I'm trying to squeeze my mind as much as I can to draw and paint by heart, using my memory and my imagination. But maybe now that I got back to do interior works, I will be using some more reference for some shots for the hands too. I'm usually use reference pictures for hands, or ants, or for lightning. So where I want. Every time I want to understand perfectly where the lights and the shadows lie, then I would use photograph reference. No, I never done a piece for movie, TV promotion. Yeah, I did a movie promotion for Superman. It was back in 2005. It was Bryan Singer's Superman. I don't know where that piece is. It's been sold a long time ago. I don't know where it is. Okay, next one.
All right, we got 3 more.
I didn't eat my dinner. We did. I don't know, Gloria. You eat.
Oh, well, isn't it almost 11 o'clock?
Starving.
All right, it's 11 o'clock almost. We got 3 more pieces to look at. Derek says it was Superman, or T-Tad says
Superman Returns.
Superman Returns. Everybody says Superman Returns in the audience. They know. All right, so we'll take a look at what is it? Lot 19 is the next one. This is a very incredible Doctor Doom on a throne. Obviously, we needed to state that this one's $6,000, and it's what is it? 11 by 16 image area on a 14 by 20. Is this on like a heavy board? Is it on a? Oh, Matt's got the artwork. Okay.
Yes. Well, it's an heavy board, right, Matt?
Yep.
Here, I'll switch over to Matt. There we go. Wow.
He will tell you the whole story about this piece.
No,
I'm kidding.
This is vintage Simone here, 2015. Cover quality, of Victor on throne. And I think one of the things that Simone always does that's absolutely stunning is the energy. I mean, first off, the flow of his cape, but the energy up over here in his head, just absolutely out of this world. This piece is stunning. I mean, it's Dr. Doom on the throne. What more do you want? It's crazy.
Now, Doom seems like a character of yours that that you enjoy doing. Maybe not as much as Wolverine, but I mean, again, you've got a character with a lot of metal, a lot of hard edges on him that you end up making feel human. This is just a gorgeous.
And I actually painted this one live at New York Comic Con in 2015. I painted this from scratch at a convention. From scratch. Yeah. And I love Doom. I mean, it's one of those characters, as you said, Bill, he's got so many elements that it just suits my wheelhouse. Matt, did I get it right? Wheelhouse?
Yeah,
right?
It's right in your wheelhouse. Right in your wheelhouse.
And like the metal, the come si dice il mantello?
Okay.
The cape and the folds. It's a great character. And I also did Malcolm Burns self-portrait. Sure, dog. Yeah, it's a portrait of a close friend of mine from Manchester. In his best day. I love this character. I would draw and paint Dr. Doom endlessly. Him, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Batman. I should do like a crazy mixed piece with those four and Black Bolt. I should come up with. It is a portrait of Matt. I mean, Matt is behind the mask. If you would move the mask, you would find Matt underneath.
You don't know right now, but my knee's up, my right hand's in the air, and I'm holding an energy ball. So yeah.
Oh, there he is. Yep. If you only had a Doom mask to wear.
I
was gonna say, Bill, you have the masks. I'm not the mask guy.
I've got one. I have a Doom mask. It's right there next to the lamp. As a
If
matter of
Berkey
fact,
was
I'm
here,
not putting it on.
I was going to say, if Berkey was here, he'd try to get you to put it on for sure.
He would. And no. It's not a dueling dealers night. All right. Well, that one's still out there. It's a beautiful piece. We got two more to look at. Now, this next one is we saw the prelim to this piece earlier. This is one that was literally, the paint is not dry on this one. This one is, I literally got the scan of this just before the show. This is lot 20, priced at $6,000. It's now, is this on a heavy board or is it on
yes, it's on paper, thick paper. Yeah, you can call it heavy board. Yeah, and it's one of the pieces that I painted on purpose for the gallery. You saw the pencil a few minutes ago, and I'm gonna tell you the truth out of my heart. This is one of the best painting I did this year. Like this. It's one of the painting that if it's not gonna be sold, I keep it for myself. I just like it that much. And it's got a very nice title too, which is Asgardian Fall. Huh?
That's
very appropriate. Yeah, no, it's amazing.
So it's got all this very warm tone, whereas you usually see Thor in a much more colder environment. And it's just as big as the Wolverine that we saw like a few minutes ago. What is the size of this, Bill?
I have it listed as 13 by 18 and a half.
Exactly. So it's slightly larger than a regular 11 by 17 page. More than slightly. It's just it is much larger, and again, I mean, it's
the palette.
This one is for the show, and and I finished this 45 minutes before going live.
This is what you skipped dinner for right here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Matt can testify this because I sent him a scan of this right before starting the show. Matt, am I right or am I right?
Literally, when I hopped on with Bill, I said, Bill, I just sent you a scan like 30 seconds ago. Did you get it? He's like, I'm downloading something, maybe. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible piece. And I just love the colors you chose. The palette, like you said, normally is more in a cold environment. I love like the beautiful, colors that really accentuate Thor's costume, the cape. It's a stunning piece. And you rarely say you're ever going to keep anything, so you must really like it.
The one thing that you can notice from the pencil that we saw before, as I said, I changed the position, the position of the legs, and I slightly reduced the size of the head, so you can clearly see some difference. I will pull the final. You should see the difference.
Oh yeah, here, let me switch back over to you guys.
Ah, ok. Sei sicura che vanno?
Sì.
See, the legs are in a different position, and the head on the final is slightly smaller. And of course, all the backgrounds, I painted them. I painted everything out of my head with no drawing underneath. Yeah, and it's got bigger, definitely bigger legs. That's why that comes from my love for Olivier Coipel Thor, and I love the way Olivier does Thor with very powerful big legs, which gives. I mean, it's supposed to give a bigger sense of power. Like I mean, the bigger the legs, the bigger the power. I mean, that's what that is the message that I think it comes from Olivier's Thor. Yeah,
it's fantastic. And Coipel, I mean, if you're gonna, he is one of my favorite Thor artists as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I will always have, Simonson will always be one of my favorites, but Coipel's, the way he, you can tell he loves drawing the character, and and that doesn't shine through with a lot, with certain artists on other titles, right? But you just know that he enjoys drawing Thor. I mean, it wouldn't look as good as he does if he didn't enjoy it so much. So,
absolutely, I agree. Tariq. It's got a Frazetta vibe with the colors. Thank you. Like, I can't get any better compliment than this. It's definitely has a Frazetta palette. I'm looking at Frank Frazetta work again and again these days, and then the more I look at it, and the more I'm stunned. So it's clearly a huge influence on my paintings as well. And so you can definitely see a Frazetta influence on this.
Yeah, no, the palette, the column in the background, that's something Frazetta would always use as a, something,
Yeah.
There's Jacob actually just said that. The pillar of the Egyptian queen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting. But yeah, absolutely right, Jacob. I mean, that's something that that Frazetta would use a lot. I mean, because again, it's marbleized. It looks cool when it's painted. I mean, you couldn't do that in a black and white illustration. It just doesn't have the same weight. Painted, you can do anything you want. All right, so we got one more piece to look at here. So let's go ahead and look at lot 21.
The night.
This is that Venom. This this one's priced at $7,350 on 16 by 21.5, and so it's huge. And again, I mean, we feature a lot of Venom art, I feel like, on our CAF updates, and this is exactly Venom rendered, like an oily mass. In a creature that you just would never want to run into in real life. I don't know how Spider-Man doesn't wet himself every time he has to go to battle against Venom, right? But this is this is just again, back to a really strong figure. Composition is fantastic, colors are great, and just shows your versatility, as an artist and creator with your approach to color. I mean, because you could go back and look at a lot of Frazettas and feel they have like similar tones and things, but here we look at the Doom, right? It's grays and emeralds, and here we've got blues and purples, and we were just looking at Thor that had more earth tones, and so you have a mastery over color, which is a very rare thing. I love this piece.
And this time we don't have the original art here because it's part of the exhibition in Livorno. I can show it only
So it's printed on the
that
catalog.
it's printed on the catalog, on the official catalog. I hope you can see it.
Oh, here, let me switch over to you guys. I thought I might have seen this one in a photograph from the show. I know it doesn't work like a mirror, unfortunately. I do this all day long too. See, and even on the printing there, it's hard to really catch a lot of that detail in Venom. I mean, the original, here it's phenomenal. Wow.
Simone, what did your son call the stuff coming off of him?
Liquid, Venom liquid.
The Venom liquid. Yes, the Venom liquid.
And liquid of Venom. Yeah, and okay, so the original piece, as Gloria said, it's at the exhibition. So in case some of you guys are gonna buy it, it's gonna be delivered right after the exhibition, right?
At the end of November.
At the end of the November. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Human Spider says, love the tongue there. Yeah, that is part of the part of Venom that you always get to see and appreciate. Byron says is trying to nudge Chris Nordine in on this one. But yeah, this is a great version of Venom, and again a very large piece. It's at 16 by 21 and a half.
Yeah, it's like the Thor that we just saw, and the Wolverine that was in black and white, same size. On illustration, illustration board, it's paper, 600 grams, so it's really thick, and it's full acrylics and a little bit of color pencil here and there. But you should, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm gonna say it no matter what. You should see this piece, like the Thor piece. You should see these two pieces in person, like the paintings, the scan. There's no way we can transfer to you guys the feeling that you can get from the original painting. I mean, there's no scan, there's no even really good quality paper print that can give you the exact same feeling that you would give from the original painting. That's what painting is all about. Same with Frazetta. I saw Frazetta in person, and it's just unbelievably better than any kind of print. Any way you can reproduce those paintings, there's no way you can reproduce them. You have to see it in person. I mean, if you're lucky enough, you have to own them in person. But just seeing it in person it's a huge step ahead, especially in understanding the power of a painter. It's just two different words.
Wow, that's a gorgeous piece. Now, was that done for the show and exclusively kind of made for that, or was it a piece done earlier?
No, the Venom piece, you mean?
Yeah, the Venom.
No, the Venom was done exclusively for the exhibition in Livorno.
Wonderful.
One of those pieces I did especially for the exhibition.
Well, Alonso mentions that owning an original from Simone is a different level experience.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Massimo. Ciao, Massimo.
And I saw Chris say he was tapped out. I tapped myself out in the last Comic Art Live we did in May. So I can't say I'm done for the year, but I know the feeling, Chris. We as collectors, the biggest thing in the last 3 years, I mean, since the pandemic started, it's been an embarrassment of wonderful art opportunities out there. Matt, as a collector, can attest to this.
Oh, it's tough, man.
The last 3.5 years have been, they outdid the 10 years prior to that in terms of just, great art buying opportunities out there for everybody. And it's difficult, right? I mean, because it's like there's always just something great to pick up. But I want to say that we sincerely appreciate everybody who picked up art today, and anybody who's thinking about it after the show. Again, we it's wonderful. And Simone, I can't thank you enough for making even one piece special for the show today, and you did 3. So thank you so much for doing that.
Bill, I can't thank you enough. You always being so supportive with my work, and right from the start, I perfectly remember meeting you my second San Diego and realizing you were the guy behind the Comic Art Fans, and I was really impressed. And you've been really always so graceful with us since then with my work, and it was a lot of fun. It was our first time doing something like this, and I'll be serious for 5 seconds. So I want to thank my brother from another mother, Matt DiTullio, for his support as well.
You're very
but
welcome.
I will thank him in person in 2 weeks. And I thank Gloria, who's gonna fall asleep in 2 minutes.
It is late. But you got to eat.
Dinner.
Not before having dinner.
You got to eat first.
So my sister, she usually goes to sleep at 9:30. So it's 11, and she still has to eat something for dinner. She's fainting, basically.
A true warrior, Gloria. Thank you so much.
She's like a warrior, like a Wonder Woman. And I want to thank myself, too, because all the artwork that you've seen so far, I mean, I did it myself. And so Simone...
That is where the credit is due.
Absolutely. And Bill, thank you for having us.
Jokes aside, thank you so much. It was great. I'm looking forward to AOX. I can't wait to be there with all of you guys in person. We're going to hang out, talk together. We're going to... I promise you guys I will do my best for coming up with as many commissions as I can. And I'll see you soon. Thank you so much again. And let us have some dinner, please.
That's true. I just want to remind everybody, email address is right there. Okay. If you've claimed any artworks tonight, or you're interested in claiming artworks after the show, please email art@Simone Bianchi. I get it all. Which is it? I don't want to mess it up.
Bianchi.
I even wrote it down with a K when I was like,
Bravo. Exactly. Listen, this
okay.
Now, if I would go back in time at my very first American gig with DC Comics, I swear to God, I would have my name printed and spelled like this: Simon without the E in the end. Simon is fine, and Bianchi with a K instead of a CH in the end. It would be like Simon Bianchi. Exactly.
Right at the top. I'm like, I'm not going to screw it up.
Yeah,
the CH makes K.
Yes,
exactly.
Big K. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
And Matt and Bill for everything. We'll see you guys soon. Okay.
Appreciate